bold journalism.
But Drew Hernandez is a strong-minded individual.
Exposing lawlessness.
Drew Hernandez, who is ideological.
Finding the truth.
And used the word Antifa.
This is what they do.
Battling
They're
mainstream
liars. The
censorship.
woke mob, all they can do is lie.
These are the front lines. Welcome to TPUSA Live. Here's what we've got on the live stream today. Today on Frontlines, some politicians, including our vice president, are suggesting Americans asked for these high gas prices by their vote for them. I went straight to the source and asked Americans themselves to find out if that's actually true. Plus, another BLM leader exposed for fraud. Is anybody surprised by now? The answer is no. Then we'll take it over to the couch with John Root and your favorite TPUSA contributors. It's What in the World Wednesday, so lots of leftist propaganda coming right your way. Then Jack Posobiec is giving an update on the Russian offensive campaign in Ukraine on Human Events Daily. Then a special edition of Breakaway with TPUSA founder Charlie Kirk joining John and Brian to make their predictions for March Madness. Then the great Alex Clark explains why there's so much controversy surrounding the newest Disney Pixar movie on politics. My name is Drew Hernandez, and you are now on the front lines. All right, America, well, here we are. We have Jen Psaki a couple days ago, yesterday at Tuesday's White House media briefing, and continuing to push this propaganda that United States oil companies are to blame for a lack of energy production with the surging gas prices across the United States of America. Here's that clip.
Well, we've engaged with a range of members, Democrats and Republicans, including Senator Manchin, about a range of ideas they have. That's why so many things are on the table. I would note that the use of the Defense Production Act, broadly speaking, would mean you're paying a company to do what they already have the capacity and the ability to do. We know there are 9,000 unused and approved oil leases right now that these oil companies could tap into and do more in. In terms of the building of a pipeline, that does not sound like it's an immediate solve for what we're seeing right now is an increase of cost of a gas pump.
More lies, all media, federal government, Big Brother lies. The Post-Millennial also reported that the Biden administration made similar claims last week that oil companies were to blame for the higher cost in gas prices, claiming that because there are these as yet untapped leases, oil companies should tap them instead. Upon coming into office in January 2021, Biden put a halt to these new leases on federal lands for fossil fuel production. Leaders from the fossil fuel industry rebuked the White House by laying out how President Biden's focus on climate change, reducing fossil fuels, and boosting wind and solar power with a top-down approach is the real cause for America's gas price hike. The White House continues to push this propaganda, and there have also been criticisms leveled at President Biden for halting construction on the Keystone Pipeline, which would have brought oil from Canada's oil sands in Alberta to the refineries in the Gulf of Mexico. The southern leg of the pipeline is already built, but environmental groups and Native American activists rally for a stoppage on the northern leg's construction. President Biden canceled the Keystone Pipeline on the first day in office. The initial action taken back in January 2021 resurfaced late last month as the Russian invasion of Ukraine began in full, and it became clear that more North American oil, not less, would be better than relying on Russian imports. They're continuing to push this propaganda. There are other sources that the United States of America could tap into to be American fossil fuel energy dependent on themselves. But it looks like right now that there's a real agenda that's being pushed forward, this propaganda that's being laced as this current failed leadership is taking advantage of a war in Europe in order to push their Green New Deal, the Build Back Better agenda, which is a fraud, and they're really pushing the Great Reset. Well, I mean, we have some of these politicians that are coming out making some ridiculous claims. I mean, obviously, when you sit there and you see Jen Psaki sit there and continue to talk to you like you're stupid and you have no idea what's going on and that America just somehow cannot be American fossil fuel independent within themselves. You even have VP Kamala Harris coming out and telling the world, telling the American people that, you know what? We have to remind the American people that they voted for this. They got what they ordered. They actually asked for this. And honestly, if you did vote for these incompetent leaders, if we can call them that, then maybe you did ask for this because we tried warning everybody that it would get this bad and maybe even worse, but nobody wanted to listen. So if you did vote for these people, we told you so. But did Americans actually ask for this? I mean, did you honestly ask for higher gas prices? Like, they expect you to be stupid enough to be like, oh, yes, I guess I did. I wanted all of this to be happening in my country because I want to stick it to Putin and I'm going to virtue signal and just, sit here and say that I'm doing the right thing. Stephen Colbert is all over the media saying, I'm willing to pay $15 a gallon because I drive a Tesla. You think he's joking? No, he's serious. These are elites. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the middle class that's being decimated into low-income communities. They sure as hell don't care about low-income communities. I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt. Now, I think we have to talk to these people directly because when you're sitting there watching Jen Psaki, she's lying to your face. She thinks you're an idiot. That's clear by now. Is this really what you wanted, America? I don't care what your politics are on the left or the right. Is this what you asked for? Maybe you did vote for these people just thinking that Orange Man will be gone and everything will be great. I guarantee you people voted that way in the 2020 election. A lot of voter remorse going on. But did people actually ask for this? Well, I took it upon myself with our great team here at Frontlines to go to gas stations in Phoenix, Arizona to ask people if they actually asked for this. Take a look.
Our task is to show people that in many ways they got what they ordered. They said this is what they wanted.
Rising, skyrocketing gas prices, some politicians are coming out and saying, the American people voted for this. They got what they asked for. Did you vote for this?
Absolutely not. I think it's outrageous.
Did you ask for this?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Did you actually ask for these high gas prices?
Along with a lot of other people, no, I didn't. I think the gas prices right now are way too high, along with a lot of other things. I think that, to be honest with you, I think we should focus more on what we got going on here instead of what we have going on somewhere else in another country. We have a lot of problems here that we need to fix instead of worrying about what we got going on somewhere else.
Okay. Did you ask for this?
Oh, no, of course not. No, I didn't ask for this.
What would you say to these politicians that are saying stuff like that?
Well, what would I say? I was like, people's trying to make a living with these high gas prices. It just puts a lot of pressure on everybody.
Did you ask for these high gas prices? Did you vote for these high gas prices?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Did you vote for these high gas prices? Did you ask for this?
No, not at all.
Did you ask for this? Did you vote for this?
No, I did not.
Not at all, right? I mean, on a personal level, some of them are even coming out and saying, to solve this problem, let's just go full electric. Just go drop $50K on an electric vehicle. Do you have the amount of money it would cost to buy an electric truck or a vehicle? Do you have the ability to just do that right now?
At this present moment, no. You know what I'm saying? Me and a couple of my buddies were talking about that, about them going electric and all that, but it's like a lot of people are not going to be able to afford to go buy new cars or new trucks and all that kind of stuff that's electric. So that's going to cause a problem also. It would cause a lot of problems with a lot of guys that's out there working in the oil field. Then they're out of jobs, you know what I mean? So I would say just be independent ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Just pump on oil and, make everything for ourselves.
Some of these politicians have been coming out and saying, just go full electric. If you got 50K, 70K laying around, just go buy an electric vehicle. It'll solve your problems. Do you have the ability to just do that, right now?
Of course not. Who does?
People that are low income in these communities, they're telling them to just go drop 50K on an EV, go buy a Tesla. Do you think that's reasonable to tell these communities?
Well, first off, you're talking to an electrician that just retired a year ago. Where does the power come to recharge those? They come out, a lot of them are coming out of coal-fired steam generated power plants. So they're using fossil fuels to do that. So we drop all the vehicles, we're still using fossil fuels, which all the quote people say we're trying to get away from, we're still using them.
There you have it. It really is as simple as that. But you have people like VP Kamala Harris, and you have people on the far left that are coming out, taking to the airwaves, on television. You see it on your Twitter feed. All these people come out and think you're stupid because they say, well, I mean, on one hand, you people voted for this, so you got what you asked for. I mean, on one hand, you could say, well, yeah, they're kind of laughing in our face if you actually did vote for these people. But on the other hand, they just expect you to be stupid enough to just accept all of this, as if there are no other alternatives, as if the United States of America cannot be fossil fuel energy independent themselves, dependent on ourselves. No, 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 no. That's not the answer. Don't look at that. We got to stick it to Putin because he's the bad guy. Really? It's pretty ridiculous. Before I get on Putin, I just want to highlight this point. Like I was talking to those people, right? Low-income communities, the middle class that's getting decimated right now, cannot just pull 70 grand out of their pocket and go full electric when it comes to their vehicle. That's just their car. They want everything to be fully electric, fully green. Imagine powering an entire city off of windmills and solar power. Really? That's really going to work out, right? Imagine powering the city of Phoenix or Los Angeles and just depending on solar power and windmills. Really? Is that really going to work out? No, it's not. And even they know that. They know it's not going to work. They know that the middle class is getting decimated. They know that low-income communities cannot just pull out $70K to go buy an electric vehicle and just go get a Tesla. They know this. You should too. It's called the Great Reset. They usher in their Green New Deal, all of the Build Back Better garbage that they want to impose on the American people. Why? Because they want you desolate. They want you desperate. So Big Gov, Big Brother can come in and they'll say, oh, you can't afford an electric vehicle? Oh, wow, isn't that a coincidence? You need us to provide something for you, and it never ends. This is why we say here at TPUSA that big government sucks, because they want to control your entire life, and it's always an agenda to set you up to accept it. And the American people need to wake up to this by now. It's not some right-wing thing to say that big government is a bad idea. They've just politicized it and made it into a political talking point where every time you hear a human being coming out and saying, you know what, big government's a bad idea because it's going to really, cross some lines on our own freedoms, and we don't want that. We just kind of want liberty. We want to be, autonomous on our own. But they've politicized it to the point where, no, don't listen to anybody talking like that because that's a scary white supremacist right-winger. Don't listen to them. It's an agenda. It's a strategy to get you to not listen and to accept the tyranny. It's crazy, man. You want to get really woke? Then start thinking like that. Think for yourself. But listen, these people want to say, oh, we're sticking it to Putin, right? They're saying the reason why we're cutting these exports out of Russia when it comes to these fossil fuels, we're not going to aid and abet this authoritarian psychopath Vladimir Putin. He's invading Ukraine, and Putin's the bad guy, Ukraine's the good guy, and now all of a sudden, because Biden is supporting the good guy, he's a good guy, and everybody forgets everything that happened in 2021. Forget the Afghanistan botched withdrawal. Forget the high gas prices rising everywhere. Forget that your bank account is probably in negative right now. Forget the invasion at the southern border. Forget everything happening. Forget the vax mandates that destroyed your life and caused you to no longer have a job. Forget all of it. Forget the inflation. Forget the rising economy. Forget it all. Because we got a new villain in town, and it's Putin. And you know who's against Putin? Biden is. So he's the good guy. That's the new software update for all the NPCs and woke-tards that don't think for themselves. Because now all of a sudden, the COVID agenda's done. And now it's Putin the bad guy. And all of a sudden, President Biden is this good guy. It's a joke. It's literally a joke. And I'll say this last. You want to know how this is a joke? Oh, we're sticking it to Putin, right? We're sticking it to Putin. We're not going to buy oil from an authoritarian psychopath. So yeah, we're all virtue signalers. We're awesome. We're great. Look at us. We're on the moral high ground. Yeah, the same administration that's telling you that's why this is happening is the same administration that is trying to cut deals with psychopath socialist Venezuela to get oil from them. So don't tell me that this is about being on the moral high ground and not doing business with authoritarian regimes. Oh yeah, like President Nicolas Maduro is somehow better than Vladimir Putin. Get out of here. These people are liars. They're virtue signalers. It's a political agenda. Wake up, because it's happening in real time right before your eyes. If these people really cared, we would go full fossil fuel energy independent as Americans, but they don't go that route. What route does this administration go? Oh, no, we got to go full green. You see our agenda we got here? Now is the opportune time to push it forward so that the masses get the software update, download it in their NPC computer brains, and go forward out there and continue to push it for us and accept it. That's where this is. So wake up. Alrighty, when we come back, another Black Lives Matter leader exposed for fraud and grifting and manipulating more black people. Wow, is that a surprise? When we come back, we'll show you what happened. Stay with us.
All right, guys, you have signed up, right? You've joined freedomsquare.com. If you haven't, why not? This should have happened a decade ago. How did somebody not think of this earlier? If you're a business owner, we have a business directory to promote your business to patriots across the nation. So if you want to buy American, if you want to sell American, we have a business directory. Whatever it is, go now.
Join us in the fight for freedom. Welcome to Freedom Square.
Frontlines, I am Drew Hernandez. We all shop at the grocery store, right? Because we all need food. Food is a necessity, which means you have to buy it. What if you could buy the food you need and donate to TPUSA? Now you can with Good Ranchers. They sell 100% American meat, and they believe so much in what we are doing that they will donate $50 to TPUSA on your behalf when you purchase from them. Good Ranchers delivers steakhouse quality beef, chicken, and seafood to your door. And with our code TPUSA, you can donate $50 to our mission while getting delicious food. They aren't like other meat boxes. Over 85% of grass-fed beef is imported from overseas, but Good Ranchers is only sources 100% American beef. Their supply chain is honest and transparent every step of the way. Head on over to goodranchers.com/TPUSA today to get great meat for a great price while supporting the United States, us in the process, TPUSA. Get ribeyes, New York strips, gourmet burgers, and more. Order now with code TPUSA to get $50 donated to our mission here. Now is the time to support American farms and ranches. Make what we do here and all over the country possible with one small purchase. Tell whoever is the breadwinner in your house to go to goodranchers.com/TPUSA and get a box today. All right, here we are. Black Lives Matter. Another one of their leading activists exposed yet again for fraud, taking donations, taking money that people donated to them in order to fight white supremacy and fight black people from being oppressed on a daily basis. Oh, here we are again. Headline news with the post-millennial Boston Black Lives Matter leader charged with fraud and federal indictment. Wow, is anybody surprised? Here we are with another BLM leader that is exposed for literally exploiting black people and their hard-earned money, and I'm supposed to believe that it's white people that are the ones that are oppressing and manipulating black people. No, they do it to themselves. Oh, what a surprise. Here we are again with another story. Here are the details. The post-millennial reports very, very clearly. A prominent Black Lives Matter leader in Boston was arrested Tuesday, and she and her husband were charged in an 18-count federal indictment. 41-year-old Monica Cannon Grant and her 38-year-old husband, Clark, were charged in connection with 3 separate schemes outlined in the indictment. defrauding donors. Oh, wow, would you look at that? Lying on a mortgage application and illegally collecting an estimated $100,000 in pandemic unemployment benefits. Unbelievable, dude. The pair allegedly raised more than $1 million in donations and grants for those in need, but used a substantial amount on themselves for expenses like rent on their Boston apartment and buying a car for a relative. Wow, would you look at that? In one case, Cannon Grant was handed a $6,000 grant for her nonprofit, Violence in Boston, Inc., to take a group of at-risk young men to a retreat in Philadelphia. The trip never happened, though. And she used the money to take a vacation in Maryland because she's such an oppressed black person with her husband, dining at restaurants like Bubba Gump Shrimp. I can't read this, dude. Paying for groceries and car rentals and visits to a Boston nail salon. Get your nails done, girl. Federal prosecutors allege. While Cannon Grant reported to the IRS and the State Attorney General's Charity Division that she received no salary, prosecutors said that in October 2020, she started paying herself a $2,788 a week salary, according to the Boston Globe. This marks the first time that Cannon Grant has been implicated in the schemes and brings additional charges against her husband as well. After appearing before a judge on Tuesday, Cannon Grant was released on Tuesday and was told that she could continue working at her nonprofit but cannot handle the organization's finances. Slap on the wrist. If she was an oppressed black person, this wouldn't be happening. I'll tell you that right now. She will be arraigned on the charges next week. All right, I have so much to say about this. Number one, before I say it, I want to show you who this person is, okay? She's a racist. She's vulgar, disgusting. Oh, you don't believe me? Oh, that's hate speech. No. Listen to her. Let's run that clip.
And then there's heifer running against Ayanna Presley. This one here with the white husband. At some point, we're going to have a conversation with black folks who get in a relationship with white folks and then forget that they black. We're going to have that conversation. And I know it's going to put y'all nerves. It's going to be uncomfortable, but we're going to have that conversation because if white jeopardize your melanin, then we need you to sit in the back of the classroom, and this ain't your part of the show, and you don't get to talk right now. Until you practice some self-love, know your history, and realize where the you came from, this ain't your part of the show. We need you to sit in the back. I need all the people that understand what it is to wake up black, regardless of how many educated gang symbols you have at the end of your name, regardless of how close in proximity you are to white supremacy, regardless of how many white businesses you ride. And I ain't mad at you, sis, because if you ride in that motherfucker for a credit score, get you that house, boo. Get your 40 acres in your nigga. Haitian black man. But I get it. He living in Utah. He getting pink uncooked. I get it. I get it. What I need you to do, though, is keep your mouth shut on black. If you ain't ready to be black, that's what I need you to do. I need you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that is Monica Cannon Grant going on a racist rant against another black Republican candidate married to a white man in 2020. And I'm the racist, okay? Yeah, I'm the racist one that hates black people. Listen, this is who these people are. She was pissed off that another black person would dare to marry and have sexual relations with a white person, saying that actually jeopardizes being black. And I'm the racist, right? No, these people are psychotic. They're racist. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about this, okay? Anyone watching that, it's like, yes, that's depraved, it's vulgar, it's disgusting, it's racist, right? But this is what they do. This is part of their grift. This is part of their race hustle. Because they say things like this, knowing that millions of people are going to watch this, knowing that millions of hive mind, weak-minded black people are going to catch this viral video, eat it up, believe it and go continue to regurgitate what she's saying. And this is how these activists, they not only mobilize people that are weak-minded to go to the streets, to go riot, to get what they need to get done. This is how they manipulate people to give them money. Millions of dollars. Not just weak-minded black people, weak-minded brown people, but weak-minded white allies as well that just throw who knows how much of their own bank account towards Black Lives Matter, this neo-communist organization that doesn't give a damn about black lives, because if they did, they would talk about the black-on-black crime that is decimating Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. The list goes on. This is a grift. It's a lie. Drew, you sound really aggressive. You sound pretty mad at black people. No. Black people get it. I'm not mad. I'm just speaking facts. That's what it is right now. I'm just speaking up. I'm speaking truth. People need to understand that this is not an organization that has been built to protect black lives. This is an organization that has been built to further exploit black lives. How many of these so-called Black Lives Matter activists, leaders, need to be exposed for you to realize that they don't care about you? This has happened across the board. Co-founder of Black Lives Matter exposed. We're taking millions in donations, buying mansions and manors, and taking the money and pocketing it for herself, going and getting book deals and movie deals. And I'm supposed to believe that this is a community of people that are oppressed in the United States of America? Listen, you want to know how this is a grift and it's a fraud? I'll tell you. We have so much privilege in this country. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm an American. Does that piss you off? Good. Because it's true. America is in a position where the black community can create an organization called Black Lives Matter that doesn't care about black lives, exploit black lives, get away with it, claim that white supremacy is stopping everything a black person ever tries to do, start this organization and gain millions from doing so. All the way up until book deals and movie deals to the freaking co-founder of Black Lives Matter. And I'm supposed to believe that black people, minorities are oppressed in this country. Please, spare me your stupidity. It's not true. It's fake. This is meant to exploit you. Because when you hear people like this talking, you get all these black leftists that get on board. They don't think for themselves. They believe that it's true. They think that it's right. They think that there's a white supremacist on every corner that's seeking to stop them at every turn. And in return, what happens? People throw money at them, and then they take your money. You know what BLM has done? Black Lives Matter has exploited dead black people to gain millions of dead presidents. Millions of dollars. They take the names of dead black people because they know that that's what you care about. An emotional community will be manipulated emotionally. It's human behavior. So of course they're going to exploit dead black people. Of course they're going to pocket the money for themselves. This is how you know even Breonna Taylor's own mom has called out Black Lives Matter for doing that to her own daughter. Wake up, dude. Everybody knows who this is. BLM has used her name, her images, saying that she was targeted by white supremacist cops in Louisville. She was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Cops didn't show up just to murder her and kill her because she's black. Oh, but that's what BLM told you, right? Police brutality. Used her name, used her image on t-shirts, raised millions of dollars, and even her own mom came out and said, BLM is a fraud because I didn't see a dime of any of that. And I'm the bad guy, right? I'm the bad guy because I'm telling you the truth. I'm the bad guy because I'm speaking the facts. I'm the bad guy because I'm saying that the black community needs to stop being so emotionally manipulated by their own community. And I'm the bad guy, right? No. This is happening across the board. This is a communist grifting organization that racks in millions of dollars exploiting black people on a daily basis. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at them. They're the ones that take your money. because you care about fighting against racism. They're the ones that manipulate you emotionally. They go out there and preach the things that they know you care about, lie to your face, because that's who they are. Wake up. This is the truth. My name is Drew Hernandez. These are the front lines, but TPUSA Live starts right now.
Well, thanks a lot, Drew. Hey, everyone. Drew Hernandez, great show. Love it. It's got a lot of good stuff today with TPUSA Live. We're going to cover some of the airline mask mandates. We're going to cover what's going on with the Woman of the Year that's not even a woman. That and so much more. We got all our contributors here. It's going to be a ton of fun. So glad you're here for TPUSA Live. Once again, welcome to TPUSA HQ in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's get this thing going.
Authentic, unfiltered, grassroots content and conversation every weekday. Live from Phoenix, Arizona at the Turning Point USA headquarters, this is TPUSA Live.
Well, once again, welcome to TPUSA Live. We are at TPUSA HQ in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. Where in the world is your party hat, Jobob?
It's a celebration. This today
Yes.
is the second birthday of 2 weeks to slow the curve.
I know.
The 2-year birthday.
I thought that was on Monday.
I don't know.
Yeah, this week,
Yeah, this is the
whatever.
first time I'm on the show this week.
Yeah,
So.
we'll count it.
Just
We'll
today.
take it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're all the same day, different day now anyway, so it's fine.
Same day, happy belated, whatever it is. We got MAGA Hulk, Stephen Davis, Jobob, Isabel Brown. I'm John Roots. My goodness. I mean, I don't even know what year it is. I don't know what month it is, what's going on. But we're definitely glad that you guys are here. Obviously, you know how we kick off the show. Daily briefing, got to get you caught up with some of the biggest news of the day, most interesting news of the day. You've said this many times before, Isabel. This administration thinks you guys are idiots. Mm-hmm. And they're going to hire viral TikTok stars to tell you, you know what, in layman's terms, here's why gas prices are soaring. Get a load of this if you haven't seen it already.
Why is gas so expensive, and why is the United States inflation rate at a 4-time decade high? I had the opportunity to ask the White House why gas down the street is $7, and here's what they said. The obvious reason: we're getting out of a 2-year pandemic. When use goes up, price goes up. But the call was predominantly about Ukraine and Russia, so how does that relate? Russia is one of the top 3 producers of oil, and it is actually their #1 revenue source. Now, with Putin starting this horrific fight between Ukraine and Russia, nobody wants to work with him and do an international trade. So, with people being scared of war and limited resources, prices are bound to go up as well. For the people who can't pay $7 for a gallon of gas, there's an app called Gas Buddy that shows you the cheapest gas near you, as well as a link in my bio to donate to the misplaced refugees of Ukraine.
Thanks so much.
Well,
if you can't pay $7 a gallon, Gas Buddy would tell you how to pay $6.95. You're welcome. Don't forget to donate to Ukrainian refugees.
Was that better or worse than when Vice President Kamala Harris went on the radio and tried to explain the Ukraine situation? You remember that
Ukraine
video?
is a country
And
that
Russia-
is smaller than Russia, which is also a country.
In Europe.
In Europe. That has now invaded Ukraine.
And that's bad.
And that's bad.
And that's why I'm here.
Exactly. Goodness.
Well, look,
You're
I
welcome.
do want to say I don't want to discredit the White House from working with influencers in particular, because the previous administration did so as well, and they did a phenomenal job reaching out to independent journalists, people who had followings on social media, especially given the completely inaccurate coverage from mainstream media, what was happening inside the White House every day. When I was an intern there, it was awesome to see the digital media office in particular bring so many different people in from all across the political spectrum in media outside of Fox News and CNN and MSNBC, so that they could actually tell the truth about what was going on inside the four walls of the White House to the outside world. This is a little different to me than the strategy from the Trump administration, when, you know, very renowned people with podcasts who were very educated, people who knew what they were talking about, were invited to the White House.
That part.
It seems to me the Biden administration just picked the people who shake their butt enough on their TikTok account, just to be totally transparent about that, brought them to the White House and said, hey, we know you usually have very scantily clad dances in your bathroom, shaking your butt, but instead we want you to say this about Vladimir Putin and Russia, even when your audience is legitimately not asking you to do that whatsoever because you don't know what you're talking about. It's insane. Everything that I've seen on my TikTok feed is wild, all about this. But when you look at who they invited in particular, they didn't invite people whose specialty is foreign policy or even politics remotely.
So that's what we have to do then. We got to shake our butts.
Time to start practicing,
I didn't get a phone
boys.
call. Did you get a phone call? You didn't get a phone call.
No, in fact, I made a reel about that yesterday for the TPUSA live page. If you guys aren't following on social media, you definitely should be. But yeah, I guess I don't dance enough. Sorry, that's why.
That's why your following's going up. Just shaking your rump for Trump somewhere.
Yep, that's what it is. I just shake my butt all day, every day.
That's it.
And then sometimes mix in some policy.
So here's why gas prices are so high. Right?
But this is the same. We talked about this before. They did this with Cardi B. Brought her on. Why would you talk to Cardi B? It's not because she's an intellectual.
Well, they've done this over and over and over again. They brought in Olivia Rodrigo to talk about COVID-19 because, okay, I guess I want to listen to you talk about that now instead of sing to me.
Still as credible as Dr. Fauci.
Yeah. Then they bring in the Jonas Brothers to do the cringiest TikTok video I have ever seen.
Bing bong.
What do you want to tell Joe Byron? And then it turns around to the president like, do I know how to film a video? So bad.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, this guy over here.
You know anything
I thought it was so
okay?
bad, it was so good.
It was awful. Garbage
terrible.
town.
Also because that might be just one of my favorite videos of all time.
Can we just go back to the days where working with influencers from the White House meant like bringing Dave Portnoy in to interview the president? That was awesome. That was cool. That was the opposite of cringy. Now every single thing that they do, I'm like, it's almost like those videos where you force a bot to watch every Star Wars movie and then you have the bot write a script for a new Star Wars movie. That's what I feel like I'm watching right now from the White House, where they like are forcing bots to watch what's happening in the world, come up with the most asinine things to possibly give to influencers who don't work in politics whatsoever, and then just see what happens for fun, for kicks and giggles.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny. One thing that she said, I talked to the Biden administration, and this is what they told me.
Yeah.
So you're just a vessel. You're just a conduit. That's all you are. You're just a parrot. So am I supposed to listen to you, a parrot? If I want to listen to what was actually being said, I would listen to MSNBC and CNN. If that's the case. But it's just, they're just parrots. There's nothing insightful that they said. They just propagated exactly what they were told to say, and that's all they did.
Well, to her credit, girl boss culture and actually being aware of what you're talking about is dead, apparently. A bunch of news articles have been written now saying that bimbo culture is the future for Gen Z. So maybe being a mindless conduit for other people's messaging and just being an idiot is great now. Women's History Month, everybody. Smashing records while men get Women of the Year. I know we're talking about that later. And we decide to be bimbos. Love progress.
Awesome.
But who got them there? I think it was the original one that was like wearing that white coat and long necks with like trans
goodness
suit.
gracious.
Yeah, Jen, I got some more.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, too.
Yeah, that one was terrible.
Oh, my gosh.
That was cringe.
They were all of it's
All
cringe.
is cringe, yeah.
Everything that I'm watching, I'm like, is this really happening?
How do they not utilize the entire Hollywood wing of their side? Like, like this is the party of the media.
Well, like they're trying, but even when they do that,
but how is it that bad?
It's bad.
What if we got the actress that wanted to be Putin's mom? What if she?
What if
keeps on
she
saying,
did it?
You know, President Joe, if I was your mom, I wouldn't have been hiring these stupid people that shake their rump. And what I would tell you is tell people the truth. I would love for her to be everybody's mom. That's
She's America's
if she's
mom.
not making it as an actress, be everybody's mom.
Yeah.
Like I would watch that video every single time.
That actually is a great business strategy. If she just decided to say, George Clooney.
If I
was your mom.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's actually a genius
if I was your mom.
that is unbelievable.
Oh, another thing that's just silly is they're on this whole PR campaign to let you know that they're not the problem. That it's all on Putin. We've shared this a ton. You see so much on social media. And then when you got Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. He went on at CNBC to let you know, that's still, it's not on us. Let me break it down for you. Check out this video.
Well, let's also remember that while oil prices and gas prices are famously something that is largely outside of the direct control of any political figure.
Yeah. So I know we've already mentioned this many times before, but everybody needs to know, on day one, Keystone Pipeline.
Yeah.
Later,
Day
all
one.
those
Shut down.
jobs lost, all this energy independence, all using our own oil to keep gas prices down. But hey, if he hadn't invaded Ukraine, you guys would be better off. They haven't been better off, the American people, for a long time now.
Yeah, that's so true.
And then I think we have a little chart that we can show people as well to go to show to hey, yes, of course it's gone up since the invasion, but it's because of a lot of the policies that have been implemented since the Biden administration's gotten here. So no chart, but we actually got the difference here between unleaded gas prices.
I just want to cry.
Damn you, Putin! I assume that he's responsible for that growth.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
We should actually start blaming him for everything.
Why not?
I stubbed my toe on the corner of the bed this morning, and I just thought, oh, Putin.
Traffic sucked today.
Putin, yeah. Yeah. The Starbucks didn't make my latte correctly. Putin!
Definitely Putin.
They were probably just so wound up about their anxiety from what's happening. They couldn't make your latte correctly. No, I mean, this is ridiculous. They are rewriting history right before your very eyes, which is the really scary part. They gaslight you so hard to the point that they will turn around and say, what you said happened last week literally didn't happen. There's no record of it in national media. We scrubbed it off government websites. All of this stuff that we're seeing happen. And it's not just with oil and gas. This is happening with everything related to this conflict. Candace Owens is trending on Twitter today because she went and did a little investigation on the State Department archive website about biolabs in Ukraine. And all of a sudden, they were gone. All of these links were gone. And as she continued to investigate, they then sent a reporter after her saying, oh, well, the links were there, they were just broken. But now they've been fixed. They're back on the website now. We did, in fact, have some activity going on with scientific research over there in Ukraine. Sorry, we messed up before. We thought we didn't because the link was broken. The link was broken? These people don't even understand how the internet works, that once something is online, it lives forever.
Yes.
But now that they control the media, they control big tech, they control the internet, all of these concepts of what is real and what actually happened can be changed on the drop of a dime, which is very, very scary. And so this entire track record of day one, getting rid of the expansion of the Keystone Pipeline, immediately making it illegal to drill on all federal public lands, causing all kinds of economic crises that then made it harder for the leases that did exist for those gas companies to continue surviving. Yeah, exactly. Every single thing has worked together strategically from the beginning to affect the oil and gas industry and the economy as a whole from this administration. But now suddenly none of that even happened. Just poof, gone.
Well, why don't you just buy an electric car?
Yeah, with
gas
my
prices are too high.
$70,000
Yeah, why don't you just buy a
Oh, you don't have
$70,000?
$70,000 laying around? $80,000?
You know what I thought was super interesting about because Mayor Pete, I don't know, what is Transportation Secretary Pete? Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
Nice. All right.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Was on 60 Minutes talking about EVs and electric vehicles and talking about, whoa, we're just buying electric vehicles and the urban community will be much better off if they don't have to pay for gas. I was curious, so I did some digging around. By that I mean I Googled it. Tesla, the biggest electric vehicle company on planet Earth, how many people in the United States?
About 330
million. Yeah. Since 2009, Tesla has produced 1.9 million electric vehicles, and they are the biggest electric vehicle company on Earth. So even if the gas prices weren't a thing and green energy wasn't a thing, we don't have the amount of electric vehicles even close to necessary to supply the American people with electric vehicles.
Well, you can't charge them either. I fundamentally
grid would
think
fail.
These people don't understand how 90% of the geography of our country actually lives.
Yeah.
They are so convinced everything looks like Washington, D.C. and New York
Silicon
and downtown
Valley.
Chicago and Silicon Valley and Los Angeles. I mean, I was in Greenville, South Carolina the other day. I was even in Nashville last week.
Yeah.
a city that big probably doesn't have the infrastructure to supply universal electric cars at this point, not to mention everyone that lives in rural and suburban areas where there's not an electric car charging port every 5 feet. So it's like such an act of privilege to me that these people who live in these massive cities, they have drivers, drive them around all the time, they have armed security, like they literally cannot wrap their head around the way that 90% of this country lives, and that includes with cars.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And you know what? Always, we got receipts, and we know exactly what President Biden was pushing a little while ago. So check out this video. It's pretty incriminating.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Just to clarify, would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated and no more subsidies for either one of those, any fossil fuel.
We can't.
Ta-da.
So at the very end of that clip, so I saw that clip on Twitter too. At the very end of it, somebody on stage, somebody reasonable within that was on that stage said, "We can't," and then the video cuts off. So somebody even there was saying, we can't do that. That's not a possible thing that we can actually feasibly get done.
Yes, Jobob, but we've left the feasible a long time ago.
A long
It sounds really good, so we're going to do it, gosh
I'm
darn
sorry, everything is based on imagination.
And then this comes down to so many people are trying to figure out, like, why are they actually using TikTok stars? Why are they using the Jonas Brothers? Because, like, they are very effective.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
people, and especially the younger generation, we've talked about this on the show. They're playing the long game. The next generation is going to believe this stuff. They're going to have their own view on COVID. They're going to have their own view on foreign policy. They're going to have their own view on energy independence. That is not only what's being implemented now, but something that you're told lies so many times, they become truth. And that's what they're doing with the next generation. And it's manipulative, it's disgusting, but it works, and that's why we need to fight it with every ounce.
Yeah, and that's why we can't abandon culture. We cannot leave these conversations behind. I get hate all the time from the conservative movement with a capital C, Conservative Inc., when I say there needs to be conservative content creators on TikTok and on Instagram and on Snapchat. I mean, all of these places, because if you're not there, there's overwhelmingly one narrative that the entire next generation is being taught. Right now, there are 50 million Americans active every day on TikTok every day, let alone monthly active users. The vast majority of those are millennials and Generation Z because that's the next cool, awesome big thing, and it's the new countercultural platform. Well, you can't be countercultural if you're just buying into the same narrative from the people feeding you traditional media too. And so I think there's such an effective opportunity for people who dare to tell you the truth in a world that is rejecting the concept of truth, and people gravitate towards that very quickly. It doesn't even have to be a complicated video. I posted a TikTok today that had one word in it, and it got like 15,000 views in like 10 minutes. That's the way TikTok works, and so you can't run away from that because of fear of censorship or fear of being deplatformed. Let them deplatform you,
But
and then start all over again.
How much butt shaking did you have there?
Oh, yes.
Because that is the
I think despite being a dancer for like 18 years of my childhood, I might need to work on that a little bit more on my TikTok. Yeah.
Weren't you a dancer too, John, for 18 years?
I'm a dancer at weddings quite a bit.
Yes,
he is. Speaking of TikTok, I know this is so far away from everything. You have the most hilarious TikTok I've ever seen in my life, dancing at a wedding.
It's amazing.
It's
I love this video.
Don't spoil it either.
No,
So people go watch John Root's TikTok, and it's the funniest freaking thing in the world. Anyways, sorry, back on track with the destruction of the country.
Yeah, naturally.
My favorite place on earth, other than just the United States of America, is a wedding dance floor.
Amen to that.
And, like, if I died on a dance floor, I think that would be the best way for me to go.
It also might be possible. And it would be Putin's fault.
It would
Naturally.
Thanks, Putin.
I really want to get your guys' take on this, though. That clip that we just played from the presidential debates in 2020, it's alarming to me in a little over a year just how much this individual has changed, like right before our very eyes. And we're starting to see just cognitive ability kind of come to a wall here. I think that's impacting the policies of this administration. Do you think the American people actually trust this narrative that they're sending out through TikTok stars and celebrities, or do you think people are kind of starting to see through this as somewhat of a facade?
I do. I mean, I definitely think so. A lot of the people that I talk to, they understand that this has been going downhill since he took office. They understand that. They understand the situation at the pump has been affecting them, because that's the thing that they really understand more than anything else. What is affecting their pockets, right? That's what they're understanding. That's what they're feeling and experiencing. So when you talk to these people and they're saying, yeah, I've seen a huge difference between what it was then and what it is now. They see that. So you can't sit here and spin this type of narrative that it's all Putin's fault when you've seen what it was. You've been experiencing it in your wallet, and there's no way you can fudge those numbers.
Those stickers have been around for a lot longer than the last 2 weeks.
Yes, indeed.
I'm curious. So you were talking about, just to back up on your question, do we think that President Biden is in control of his drastic swing to the left? Because the guy ran as a moderate, convinced most of America that he was a moderate, and then got elected and suddenly turned into freaking Senator Bernie Sanders. And I'm curious of how cognizant is he of that shift, or is he just the old school, not entirely there all the way, I'm just going to do what the far left of my constituents want?
Well, I think a lot of people didn't know actually what he stood for.
Yeah.
Because he was hiding in his basement for so long.
Well, and he still is.
We are never, he still is, and we're never ever going to see someone run for president like President Biden did. Because he was not forced to answer for anything.
That's true.
He was not held accountable for anything.
He was
and
carried
if
across the finish
there was
line.
any sort of questions being asked, it was almost like reporters just got shunned. It's like, no, it's not a good time. He's got to go back and take his nap. So like a lot of people just actually did not understand what he stood for, but they do know that they wanted to stand against the other guy. And I feel like that's,
I agree.
and it was an effective strategy of tremors,
Pressure.
I got to push back on your statement that he ran for president. I think he more feebly shuffled for president.
I don't know that running is really the category.
Take me there.
Turn your ass under pressure.
That's a fair question, Jobob, because he's still not in the public eye. He's going to Delaware every weekend in the midst of the brink of World War III. They're trying to convince us, oh, this is the worst thing that could have ever happened. Like, this is the collapse of our society. If it's really the collapse of our society, why are you going back to Delaware every single weekend? And beyond that, there are so many coincidental things going on in calling the vice president the president like 8,000 times, and every single press briefing like being like, they told me to say this, and they gave me a list of who is they. At some point, people need to say, are you really in charge? Because if not, you can't be the president of the United States. Like, per the Constitution, you're not able to hold the office. And at some point, you have to move beyond that. And I think we are getting to that point, theoretically. I'm anxious to see what that looks like after November.
And then something I always enjoy is what Charlie Kirk's got to say about stuff. But especially, too, we talk about it on the show, like, how are you going to have conversations with people on the other side? Sometimes it's going to be a little cordial, and then sometimes it's going to be a flat-out debate. And the new debate night coming out with Charlie Kirk, he's talking to raging leftists and political activists and strategists, I guess, Rachel Bidikofer, and it's going to be some crazy times. Look at this.
Charlie, what if I was to tell you, though, you're such a smart guy, that none of that is correct?
That's such
then
a
it would be
you
there
know
by
that's
now.
a flawed argument.
No, not at all. I think race doesn't matter to white people because we are in a majority white system.
You think we're embracing authoritarianism?
Yes, very much so.
Have you heard of Justin Trudeau?
The concept of structural racism?
Yeah, it's a myth. You can't be serious.
I'm very
You're
serious.
so much smarter than that.
Yeah, don't forget that is on Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific. That is always some good
I'm actually excited about that.
It's probably going to make you cringe. It's going to make you laugh. Might even make you cry. Those are always so fun to watch because I know there's times where we're in the office where it's like, I'm sticking around to watch what's going to happen here. Charlie always does a great job. And I think there's also times where, like, sometimes you can just come together, like, agree to disagree. Thanks for the memories. Later.
Amen. Amen to that.
But something we can all agree on is that Jobob hates this segment.
I love this.
Dude,
I'm so glad I'm here with you.
I don't know how it happens that I'm always freaking here on Wednesdays.
I love it.
Like,
I don't
why?
know how it
Why am I
happens.
not a Monday and Tuesday or Thursday and Friday?
Booking team.
Dude, next week
for Wednesday.
Next week, not to go into my schedule, but I'm here Monday. Then I got to go to Chicago on Tuesday, and then I'm back here for freaking Wednesday.
Of course.
It's almost like we enjoy your reactions to this segment.
We love watching you swerve.
Nothing triggers you like, what in the world?
Yeah, hey, trigger warning. Have some sympathy for the easily triggered.
You ready to go?
Just. The more time I complain about this, the less I have to deal with it. So I can just go on a rant about how this sucks.
Oh no, we're doing all of these today.
Okay, whatever.
We're not skipping any.
Whatever.
Check out this first one.
Not so typical gay camp. One camp. Full of pride. Indivisible. With affirmation and equal rights for all. Watch your heads.
Watch your heads. The United States of Gay.
Do you guys know who this is?
It's Chaston. Oh,
Yeah, that's Mr. and Mrs. Buttigieg.
What is
This
the
is Pete Buttigieg's husband.
what is the Secretary of Transportation's husband called? The ninth husband? I don't know.
Did they get COVID?
Yes. Probably.
The First Lady's husband got COVID. That's you.
Did you see how, I know we're not on this video, but did you see how he cleaned that up and then misstated it again 20 seconds later?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Are we surprised? No.
Back to the gay Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay. It just, the virtue signaling never stops here for me, because do they not realize we have equal rights for all in the United States, period, end of story? Whether you're gay or straight or trans or black or white, no matter your nationality or ethnicity or what language you grew up speaking or what God you worship. It's kind of the whole point of the flag of the United States. It's why we pledge allegiance to it.
But it's not indoctrination. No. But it's not.
Did you notice the kid with the orange hair?
He looks very uncomfortable.
Was like,
how can you not see that?
What in the world is this?
What in the world is that?
I think you got some thoughts.
I'm just so confused. It's disgusting. The fact that you're pledging allegiance to this flag that is not the United States flag. And I just think the way that you promote this as the flag to worship, the flag to revere, it is so just, it's disgusting. I'm sorry, it's disrespectful. I can't believe that they're actually doing this, and people love this. They actually love it.
I'm like curious from like a political standpoint. Mayor Pete's objective is to be the president of the United States. He already ran for president, and like his husband, Chaston, I think, knew that they were filming. I'm not sure what his name. Yeah, but
probably not that.
but I just like he's got to know that that's being filmed and is going to be used against him. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
Another place that's pretty depressing is a New York subway. And we're not talking about the food spot that Juicy Smollett likes. Check this out.
That's it.
Are you sure that's New York?
I can smell the pee from the couch.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because there's part of me that wants to think that that's Bart. I don't know if anybody's. Have you ever been on Bart?
Oh yeah.
Either of you guys in San Francisco Bay Area?
No.
Yeah.
So that doesn't look like the New York City subway. Can we show it again? I mean, it looks more updated than that.
Yeah, the New York City subway is not.
That looks like DC to me. I rode that metro every day for a long time. It could be New York, I guess. I don't know.
Regardless of where it is, it looks pretty terrible, and I can smell the urine seeping through the TV
Well, it
screen.
already smelled like urine before it looked like that, and now it's just, ugh.
No, it's a nice subway, just public transportation. There's a
None?
lot of it in Europe.
Yeah, Europe is very clean.
Oh, really?
Public transportation, it's great.
Huh? I don't know. I have not been to Europe, so
It's reliable.
I wouldn't know.
It's
Even
much
everything
safer.
across the pond.
Yeah.
No.
Across the pond.
I'll take your word for it.
Mind the gap. That's what they tell you in the London Underground. In the tube, as they call it.
You know what I think?
It's a lot cleaner than this.
What's interesting about this is I don't think that's all that weird, because unfortunately that's I feel like what I come to expect nowadays.
That's
especially,
what you expect?
I don't know.
That
living in
level
Southern
of trash?
I live in Southern California. Yes, that's the standard street in which you walk on going through downtown LA.
Oh,
Skid
yeah.
Row, San Francisco. That's what everything looks
It looks
like.
like a third world country.
Yeah.
It really
I
does.
rode the metro in LA one time.
Never
when I was
again.
there working with
Oh.
PragerU, and we went downtown for an event, me and some of my friends, and then we rode the metro back at like night. It was not a good idea.
That's not a good idea.
It was wild. We saw like several guns get pulled on people doing heroin on the metro. It was just like, wow, all
Good
right,
times, huh?
Southern California,
Yeah,
baby,
no,
land of
that's
dreams.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then I know a lot of us like maybe grew up. You went to science camp. You went to
I
different.
did go to science camp.
It was fun.
For 10 years.
You had some summer camps.
Nerd.
Let me study science in college. Yeah, nerd here. But there's a brand new camp and something I don't think any kid should ever go to. The Masturbation Camp. Check it out.
The what?
Oh
That's
boy.
how we should, like get down with yourself, explore your own body. Masturbation is really healthy, and I recommend it to people of all ages. All ages.
Wow.
I'm really glad we showed this for What in the World Wednesday because this was viral a couple days
petrified.
ago. So this lady and 3 of her, I guess they're not calling themselves her, their friends,
Oh, goodness.
are trying to start what they call sexy summer camp for all ages, kids. I made a post about this the other day on social media, and it's wild. Basically, it's advertised for people of all ages, so you can send your kid. It's in Kentucky.
And can you also go as a 45-year-old man?
And basically they have like sessions for all of these different ideologies that they're trying to push. They have an entire session on sex and you, like how to masturbate with, and I'm not joking, hands-on instruction in the pamphlet advertising this. They have an entire session on self-administered abortion and like taking the abortion pill and how you do that and how that's safe and effective in your own life, why you should fight for that, and like literally everything in between. So obviously the internet freaked out. They immediately took everything down off of their website and now they're trying to say, oh, well, we weren't advertising this for kids. This was supposed to be like a camp for adults, but...
She just said for all ages.
Yeah.
I don't even. I
That's
don't
just
even
the
wanna
context of
talk
this
about
video.
This is I'm petrified.
This is scary.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to keep talking?
No, I just feel like I feel dirty even discussing that. That's
Yeah, but that's what they're trying to normalize so much. Like even just talking about trying to normalize pedophilia, where it's just like minor attracted person.
Yeah,
maps. Like they're trying to make sure they turn these things around where it's like it's not that big a deal. Like this is self-love. If
hate
someone's
this
not
so
going to love
much.
you, you need to just love yourself. But this is absolutely just destroying people, just like the porn industry.
Did you see?
I'm like
Yes.
sweating.
The way
Like,
that
I-
she emphasized
all ages. Well, so that was a very short clip of that video. She went on to say, I told my nephews, like as soon as they could talk, basically, that they should be masturbating. Yeah, I'm not joking. You have to watch the full video. This is like so much bigger than the 10 seconds that we showed you. I went down this whole rabbit hole. But it made me very sad because summer camp was my favorite thing.
Dude, I hate this. I'm sweating. It gets worse.
Oh yeah,
a lot
breaking news. God is autistic. Check it out.
God is non-binary. God is queer. God is autistic.
Wait, what?
Is that
Okay,
a fact, sir?
All right. At least I can.
Okay, let's unpack that.
God is non-binary.
Well, that I actually kind of do
Yeah.
agree with because God's bigger than the concept of humanity, so we can't really understand that, but okay.
God is queer.
But if you're non-binary,
Yeah,
how
that's
can you...
those are the
Queer.
combating things, right?
I would- I
anyways.
don't know.
Sorry.
Okay.
But understand that God is indeed autistic.
As somebody whose wife calls him autistic frequently.
Oh God.
And believes. No, I'm serious. Like
it's like almost impossible to get canceled on the show, but you're close.
No, I'm saying like my wife is a therapist and says I'm on the spectrum. Like I don't actually I'm not making a joke. She actually thinks that. I don't know.
But also too, I think this guy's a pastor, but this is a lot of like
Wait,
this.
what?
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
Pastor.
Wait a minute.
That's a
I
blatant
feel like
pastor.
you gotta.
We need context here.
Yes.
He's a pastor
This is another aspect of I don't know where he is a pastor, but everything like I looked up.
Yeah.
He's calling himself a pastor. This is another like aspect of like progressive Christianity where they're trying to attract other people to the church.
Yeah.
which is not the true church. Nope. That was built by the Son of God.
Thank you.
Who was a man.
Is he calling himself a pastor the same way some men call themselves women in 2022? Like,
Is a trans pastor or
like you're not a pastor.
but you identify as one?
I would not want to go to
That church.
his church.
Yeah.
Does it get worse?
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate this.
There is.
I love this. I think this calls the darkness into the light. We love it.
This is not an act. I actually feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about.
Bob's like rocking himself on the couch.
We need to have a safe space just
I
in the
know.
back
Yeah.
corner.
Just time out.
over here
Safe
for
space.
Joe Bob.
We'll draw you a little
Wednesdays.
square on the ground. You can go stand in there.
But we've been talking quite a bit about dancing. Dancing at weddings.
dancing.
Other aspects of dancing. Shake your rump and tell us why gas prices are not President Biden's fault. But there's some people that dance for animals.
Okay.
Well, all right.
The animals in the zoo in Kyiv, Ukraine are terrified from the bombing. This is for the elephant there.
Can't be real.
She did it.
This is for the peacocks.
She fixed
I'm sorry
Ukraine.
you're scared about the bombs in Ukraine.
Wow.
I think your hands were not nearly as fluid as John's.
Yes, I'm learning.
It's a move you got to work on. He was pretty good.
I'm
I
trying.
usually do that when Yeah by Usher comes on the wedding dance.
Okay, guys, we keep hyping up John dancing at weddings. Please
We
go
make
look up
this
this
happen.
TikTok of him dancing at a wedding because it is amazing.
We'll find it. Bring the heat. I think we're gonna do one more here for What in the World Wednesday.
No.
This is the tough part because it's all about like what's gonna freak out Joe Bob the most.
Yes.
On this one.
Are there multiple options? Like, are you currently trying to figure out which one you should play?
Yeah, I think I kind of like this one. So this teacher is starting to flex their sexuality. Check it out.
What was that?
It was an oddly sensual way to sit on your desk.
It's a tight shirt.
That's a very tight shirt. Extra medium.
But that's where it's like, once again, you're sending kids to school to learn about math, science, reading.
No, you're not anymore.
Yeah,
and
not
then
anymore,
Now
yeah.
it's turning into, I need to, I think there's a time and place. Like if I was a teacher, I'm like, I'm not gonna go and just talk about Christianity the whole time if they're coming to a math class.
Yeah.
It's like there's a time and place for those things, and you were put in a position to teach kids about a certain subject and not try to insert some sort of sexuality indoctrination into it. But it's turned into this where, we see so many teachers on TikTok that are like, oh, this is my time to shine. Like, look at how progressive I am. Look at how I'm actually teaching the next generation about equality, equity, and I'm doing this for them. It's like, this is just tearing apart our society.
Sick.
And I think it's gonna be interesting when we're still friends 20 years from now. And we're gonna see what society actually looks like.
Oh, God, help us.
How much were we able to affect the culture war? That's why we have shows like this. That's why I think we go so gung-ho with things like YWLS. Make sure young women know that this is wrong. This is what the world's trying to tell you. Listen to some of these women here that are gonna give you the truth and stand on some solid foundation. But it's crazy.
How you doing, buddy?
I have no comment. I think we're done with the segment now.
Now what's going to
I think
be
we're
even
transitioning.
better is, this is not a part of What in the World Wednesday, but I think it kind of coincides. You ever seen a man slap a steak?
I've seen you
I have
slap a
seen
steak in
such
this
things.
commercial.
Let's check it out, just in case you
It
haven't seen
means
it.
that it's
Joe Bob.
over. Thank goodness. Is this?
This might be.
I
Check
get
it
to
out.
do my Alex Clark impersonation. I love it every single time.
Good ranchers, straight from the American farm. 100% American meat, 100% of the time. Delivered straight to your door.
Wait, are those my Good Rancher steaks?
I'll be taking these.
Claim your 10 free bistro fillets with your next order with promo code TPUSA Live at goodranchers.com.
Welcome back to TPUSA Live. Jobob, MAGA Hulk, Stephen Davis, Isabel Brown. I'm John Root. Man, it feels like sometimes on Wednesday, it's all What in the World Wednesday, and they just kind of bleed in together.
Oh, good. Is it continuing?
Oh, yeah.
To be continued. Yes, indeed.
Our whole world is like what in the world every day. What in the World Wednesday?
Yeah. What in the world day?
What in the world every single day?
Yes.
Presidential term.
Yes.
2 weeks.
To slow the spread, yes.
But this North Carolina school has been condemned for holding a mock slave auction.
Oh, this is wonderful.
I know, this came from the New York Post. It is absolutely...
A what?
A mock slave auction.
That's helpful.
So... this is a couple of the participants there, and it said, so according to a concerned mother, black students at J.S. Waters School in Goldston, North Carolina, were sold in this mock slave auction by their white classmates.
Oh boy!
Wait, what?
Wait a minute.
Somebody thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, was this sanctioned by the school?
I mean,
this
obviously,
was okay
it was
by the school.
This was okay by the
This
school.
is at school.
Yeah, so say this group called Chatham Organizing for Racial Equity said that the auction involved middle school students, occurred in the presence of staff and faculty while being filmed. So this wasn't just like,
there's footage of this?
What?
I'm sure it's been scrubbed at this point now that this is something we're all aware of, but wow.
Stephen Davis?
What in the world?
But unfortunately, we don't have the footage. I wish we had the footage.
Yeah.
What kind of world are we living in? How does this further any type of progress in regards to any type of racial equality or any type of, when it comes to racism, when it comes to race relations? What does this do? What is this supposed to show?
All these progressive educators are all about experiential learning. That was a term that kind of came out towards the end of my high school years. And I think we're seeing it with sex summer camp, and I think we're seeing it with racism. Apparently, like, you two can experience exactly what we're talking about.
Even if it doesn't exist nearly to the level that we're saying it is.
Exactly.
At all. Like, in modern history, at all.
So were just the black kids sold, or were the
Yeah.
white?
So this report is fascinating. The school has 195 students. I'm guessing this is a middle school because it was middle school students. 68% of the students are white. And one of the parents complained and ended up saying, our son experienced a slave auction by his classmates. And when he opened up and we were made aware that this type of stuff seems to be the norm so much that he didn't even think it was worth sharing at some point. So he didn't at first even tell his parents because he thought this was normal, and then tells his parents. Then the parent says his friend, quote, went for $350, and another student was the slave master because he, quote, knew how to handle them. We even have a video of students harmonizing the N-word. Since when were children so blatantly racist? Why is this culture acceptable? Why is a teacher directing the choir of their students to harmonize the N-word?
No, you're a little flat, up.
No, right?
Harder R.
Yeah. Harder R. Okay. I heard someone say A, no E-R.
You saw the Joe Rogan video?
You kids listen to Morgan Wallen? Let's go for it. Oh my gosh!
Ridiculous.
Dude. So you're selling kids for $350 at a fake auction, and you have the mean bully of the class who knows how to handle the black kids in your class be the fake slave master?
Who volunteered for that? Who's the white guy? I know how to handle this. I got experience on it. What? This is just ridiculous.
Well, it's desensitizing kids again. So I'm sure you just have that kid was like, oh, you can play this role for sure. But this isn't an acting class.
Right.
No.
What class was this? Do we even know?
This is a history class.
I'm going to look this
Dude,
up.
So, okay, so like, I'm actually curious how this thing went out, because it goes without saying, terrible idea. And when it got run up the chain, probably not a good idea for whoever approved this to happen.
Right.
But I am curious of how students react to that. And I say that because in college, we did a diversity day. Do you remember this in school? Imago Day, where we did like diversity and all this sort of stuff. And we got lined up to do this exercise called the privilege walk.
I did this all the time in college.
Okay, but in the world, like, I realized as a student that it was stupid, and then I mocked it and made fun of it. I effectively won the privilege walk. And me and my friends high-fived, and we understood that nobody's taking this seriously. And all the people that decided we're going to do the privilege walk, and it's going to really teach kids about their privilege and how they're better than other people, we made a complete mockery of the entire thing and belittled the people in charge. So I wonder, at what point are kids going through these ridiculous exercises going like, yeah, sure, I'll be the slave master, like, cool, let's do it, like, and then just make fun of the entire thing.
Maybe that's what they were doing.
I don't know.
That's how they like coped with it. I think that's awesome that you guys just treated it as a funny thing. When I had to do the privilege walk, it was like the most solemn, like monks chanting in the background level, serious exercise that we ever did. And if you've never heard of this, Steven, you might not know. If you've never heard of what a privilege walk is, this is like a required activity in most schools now. It started on college campuses. In my experience, I had to do it in my Psych 101 class, and then I had to do it for like working for the admissions office and everything like that. But basically, in Psych 101, we were in the big lecture hall of like 400 people, and they lined us up against the back wall at the very top of this thing where you walk all the way down, like the big lecture hall. And they basically said, if something applies to you, you have to like take a step forward or take a step back. So if you grew up with both of your parents in your house, take 3 steps forward. If you're black, take 2 steps back. If you had a shower this morning in a hot shower, take a step forward, whatever. And they do that like 25 to 30 questions, and it ends up scattering everybody throughout the room. And then they basically turn around and say, hey, see everybody at the front, all of these people are privileged, and all the people at the back are oppressed. I will never forget when I had to do this in Psych 101. They said, take 3 steps forward if you voted for President Donald Trump. And the entire lecture hall of like 300 people is just standing there like, do I do it? Do I do it? And I looked around and I was like, I'm doing it. The whole room was
going for it.
What? But I guess this is the evolution of that. We're not doing privilege walks anymore. We're doing privilege slave auctions.
Perfect.
See, but I feel like kids aren't stupid, and I know I've said that kids are stupid, and in a lot of cases they are, but they're not racist, and they understand these sorts of things. Like the privilege walk that we did, I think like 5 steps in before I realized like what was going on, I like yelled to my friend like, I'm winning! And then everybody started laughing, and the poor lady, I think I almost made her cry. It was like, take 1 step back if you this, or take 1 step forward if you had your own car in high school. And I took a giant step forward and was like, yes!
One giant leap from privilege.
And just made a mockery of it. So I wonder if kids are going to start reacting to this stuff this way. Just making fun of it.
They should. They should.
I know.
It comes down to, it's like, well, what are you trying to teach these kids? Isn't there another way you can teach about our history and still talk about like how there's been reconciliation, there's been progress made, but I feel like so much what we're seeing on campuses, whether it's college or elementary schools like we're talking about here in North Carolina, they want you to think it's just as bad as it was back in the slave trade. You have people like Colin Kaepernick that are saying things like the NFL Combine is like the slave trade, and you have, if you want to talk about like real poking and prodding and real segregation. Look what's going on with COVID, but no one wants to talk about that.
My favorite thing in the world is watching Stephen Davis rail against Colin Kaepernick.
I cannot stand the man. I really cannot. I mean, you talk about the epitome of
he's doing it.
I'm sorry. I
love it. No, keep going.
Pass it off to Stephen.
Thank you. I can do that. Lord have mercy, especially when it comes to Colin Kaepernick, because he is the epitome of privilege. He's had the privilege all throughout his daggone life. He's in the NFL. He's able to live out his dream, and then he gets out of the daggone NFL, and he rails against the NFL while still practicing to be in the NFL. Like, are you kidding me right now? What is wrong with this guy? It's so ridiculous.
So I guess this is the evolution of CRT also, that we started with, hey, white people and black people are different, and you're going to have different outcomes in society because of institutionalized racism. So if you happen to have more melanin in your skin, you're not going to be successful in this country, and if you have less melanin in your skin, you're the oppressor and you're privileged and you're evil. Now are we literally just straight up telling kids, oh, you're not even just not going to be a successful person, you're straight up property.
Right. Jeez. Right. Yep. And that's pretty much what it is, especially, hey, get on that auction block. We're going to simulate this for you, because we're going to drill this into your head and then have it ensconced in your mind that this is what you are. This is what you amounted to. And if you keep pushing this victim narrative when it comes to these students, what do you think is going to happen as they get older? What do you think is going to happen when they're 18, 20 years old? You think they're going to be productive members of society?
No.
Or do you think they're going to be tearing down society and saying, well, I'm a victim. I guess I'm not going to make it anyways. I might as well go and do all these nefarious things for my own daggone country. This is ridiculous, man. I'm so pissed off. Lord
You
have
should go
mercy.
to the school board meeting there.
You
I would
should.
love
Where
to.
is it? Yeah, that would be great.
I would love to.
I would
And
love
why,
to see that.
Why do we have to simulate a slave auction to teach slavery? Did
exactly
any of
what
you
I'm
not
saying.
learn
Yeah.
about slavery? Anyone in this office? There's a lot of people in this office. Did any of you not learn about slavery in school?
Put your hand
No.
down. No, I'm just kidding.
We all learned about slavery.
Fine.
Why
Yes.
do you have to simulate the most harrowing experience for middle schoolers who've already learned about slavery, know it was a thing, know it was horrible, and our worst chapter in American history, that we've moved beyond it. Now we're just reconciling this all over again every single day.
And also teaching all these white kids that if you were a white kid back then, you would have been a slave trader.
owner.
Or a slave owner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's
Great
what you're
image
trying
to
to
have in
like
your
tell
mind.
people. It's like, it's just blatantly not true. It's like the 1619 Project.
Well, on top of
revisionist history, it's a joke.
On top of that, I feel like you're belittling things when it's the same thing when they were talking about the Jim Crow on steroids with the election laws going through
Yes.
some of these places. Like in the same vein, I knew slavery was terrible. I think growing up, going through high school, going through middle school, and learning about slavery, it was the worst thing that could have happened, in my opinion, of what I was being taught. Nowadays, given that they're comparing all of these different other things, it's belittling how bad it actually was
Amen.
by comparing it.
I
So
totally
it's
agree.
not even not doing nothing. It's doing damage.
Yeah.
Something that's good for our society is Freedom Square. We love them so much. Check this out. We're going to be back for one last thing.
All right, guys, you have signed up, right? You've joined freedomsquare.com. If you haven't, why not? This should have happened a decade ago. How did somebody not think of this earlier? If you're a business owner, we have a business directory to promote your business to patriots across the nation. So if you want to buy American, if you want to sell American, we have a business directory. Whatever it is, go now.
Join us in the fight for freedom. Welcome to Freedom Square.
Time for one last thing. This is kind of going to be like a Starburst pack. We got a lot in one
All right.
right now. This is how it's like. This is
Juicy.
kind of like one last thing, make it make sense. We got a lot packed into this thing. Stephen, MAGA Hulk Davis, Jobob, Isabel Brown and John Root. Holy smokes. What is a woman? It's a pretty simple answer. And it was for a very long time, but I think now people are confused. And not only are people confused about what a woman is now, we obviously have the Leah Thomases out there that are breaking records. And then now we have a Woman of the Year that is a biological man. I guess, congratulations. You have... There it is. What a gal. Is that the... every single time I see this guy, I think of Monsters, Inc. Mr. Wazowski,
Mike
you forgot
Wazowski.
to turn in your paperwork last night.
Roz, you look stunning today. That is the best movie. They do not make movies
If
like
they
that
do a
anymore.
live action, I want it.
Oh man! Oh my gosh!
That's right. That's the live action we're looking for. Mulan was trash. Aladdin, whatever.
Aladdin was actually pretty good, I thought. but
Aladdin?
The live action one was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it was all right. I mean it was entertaining. Anything
But it's no
Will-
Rachel Levine as the secretary saying.
Hold on,
Mike
this is a real
Wazowski.
thing. They won.
Yeah,
Women
so
of the Year?
USA Today
Jinx.
put together a list. You owe me a soda. Of that's Jinx, everybody. USA Today put together a list of their Women of the Year, and Assistant Secretary Rachel Levine is on said list.
Yep.
So I've decided I am now putting myself, Isabel Brown, in the running for Man of the Year.
Why not?
I do not have a penis, full disclosure, but you don't need one to be a
That's
man
shocking.
in 2022.
Just be
Please
fluid.
vote for me. Let's smash the glass ceiling of the patriarchy.
What the world would say.
Yeah, what does it feel like to be one of the other women? Because this is a multiple women thing, right? Multiple women get Women of the Year.
Yeah.
Like it's like triumphant, and then you get looked at. You look at the colleagues in your class of Women of the Year, and you're like, yes. Wait, huh? Like I feel like it diminishes my accomplishments because they also went to this person.
Right.
Not to mention people who just didn't make the list to begin with because
Oh yeah,
somebody
you didn't
not a
make the
woman.
list.
Well, that's my
You're
question.
less of a woman.
What is it based on? What are the metrics based on to be Woman of the Year? Man of the Year.
Babylon Bee's
can
Man
be
of the Year is Rachel Levine.
When the bee is not the bee
Yes.
anymore. Oh.
Wait, yeah, is that
Okay.
okay?
Look, bottom line, it's gross, and it reminds me of this idea from Parks and Rec. Do you guys know that show? You watch that show?
Yes.
When Ben Wyatt is running for Congress and Leslie doesn't want to make the pie because it's like too anti-feminist or whatever, so he makes the pie, and there's this whole men's rights group that comes and protests over and over again. That is exactly what we're seeing right now. It is like all of this is a win for men's rights activists, and they are completely comfortable with people who have male genitalia in women's locker rooms. They're completely comfortable with people with XY chromosomes winning Woman of the Year, and that's heralded as this total progressive win for society, and they're calling themselves feminists because of it. And I just get so sick to my stomach over this, because the same people that say they champion women and they want true equality now have made a laughingstock and a mockery of people with penises squashing women and every single one of their accomplishments and records and achievements throughout history. Like, they just want to erase all of that overnight, and then they turn around and tell people that say what I'm saying that we hate women.
And then
put that together for me.
This is the Assistant Secretary for Health and Human Services. If that is what health looks like, maybe Health and Human Services at like McDonald's or something. It's a tough look. Like,
yeah.
The Michelle Obama school lunch
but
program.
another
maybe,
thing
but-
too, we got a lot of Apple iPhoners out there, other than Stephen Davis, outed.
Brutal.
First and
Android.
foremost, we all know that Android is a real. I'm not even talking to you. That was good. I'll give you that one.
Well, the thing that it's going to be nice for you is you're not going to get the brand new emoji update.
No pregnant men for Steven.
No pregnant men for me.
What a
Darn.
bummer. Yeah, so the new update, iOS 15.4, introduces 123 new emoji designs with a vast catalog of symbols, including melting face, a troll, and yes, you see that right there. All the shades of the pregnant man.
I like this one.
All the shades.
Watching the pregnant man, I feel like this emoji in real, real life.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't look away, but I don't want to look.
It's like a train wreck. Yeah, you can't look away, but you have to look at it. Goodness gracious, that's ridiculous.
Do you think, okay, I'm curious, like among users of emojis, do you think that emoji will be used more seriously or more ironically?
Ironically.
I think it's going to be like
I just went to
95%.
Exactly.
Yeah, 95% ironically.
Belly.
That's exactly what it's going to be.
That's what somebody said, because I know I retweeted Lamar Jackson. He's the quarterback for the Ravens. He ended up quote tweeting this and saying, "Why Buddy pregnant?" I saw that. And then there were some responses saying like, "Oh, I thought that was after the buffet man."
Oh, this is the Warren Sapp emoji.
Oh, that's messed up.
My little belly.
Jacked up.
Funny because it's true.
It's true.
But I want to play a little game here because our producers got together and they're like, you know what? I want to know what your frequently used emojis are. And we're going to try to guess in this group of emojis who this is.
Okay.
I'm ready.
We have not seen these at all. Let's throw up the first one. All right. What?
Canada, money, party, hang loose.
The trident?
Jobob. These are your emojis.
Okay, well, I didn't feel comfortable coming out as this, but yes, I do identify as a mer person, which is what you see at the top there. Not a
merman.
No, not a merman.
I'm
a mer
I'm a
person.
merman.
Mer person.
You are incredibly offensive right now.
Yeah,
okay?
just not sensitive at all
it's
to
not
my
a binary,
situation.
dude.
Easy, Little Mermaid.
Oh my gosh, I can't even tolerate you anymore.
Oh.
That's got to be you. I saw the clown. I was like, yeah, that's Joe Bob.
Given that the eye rolling one is so far up, I'm going to go ahead and say that's Isabel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
what's
good.
funny
That's good.
is-
The
That's
guitar,
good.
though.
I had guitar because I was in Nashville last week. So these are like your recent emojis. They're not just your most frequent ones. I have the cricket in there because I was commenting on a bunch of TikToks that the libs were silent about what was happening in our countries. It was like cricket, 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 cricket over and over again. But I use eye roll quite frequently. I use the little crying puppy dog face quite a bit though. The Puss in Boots face from Shrek.
Oh, the Puss in
Red
Boots,
heart
yes.
and yellow heart, but it depends on the situation, obviously. And of course, cowboy hat because he's great.
What's the yellow heart? I don't.
Yellow heart is
Standing
friendship.
with Ukraine. What? Oh.
It in my world, Yellow Heart is like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, I'm so glad you're my friend. And Red Heart is like, I literally love you. Like, I use that for my boyfriend and my family and my best friends, but like nobody else. Nobody else gets Red Heart.
You know,
like if another girl sent Red Heart to my boyfriend, I would be really upset.
But not Yellow Heart.
But not Yellow Heart, no.
That's
I wouldn't
weird.
be upset.
I'm sending
That's
Brock,
objective.
I'm sending Brock
Is
a
it
Red
the same way
Heart
with
as
roses?
we speak.
I don't send flower emojis ever.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you send someone.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good point. Like roses have a color.
This one is clearly John Root.
Definitely John Root. This is definitely John.
No, that's actually funny though. I'm
It's cultural appropriation is what it is.
John's were too explicit to be shown, is what I'm hearing.
That is such a
That
lie.
looks like your arm in the corner. Wait, put it back. It's a real life emoji.
Very, very accurate.
I know.
Yes.
I like how his first two are
Also-
yes, love this 100, and also F this. Like those are the two extremes.
The
Hashtag Stephen
the best
Davis.
thing we just got is I just sent your boyfriend a red heart, and he just said question mark. I'm so confused.
Good boy, Brock. Way to listen to the instructions there, buddy.
I want to give a disclaimer. I will give a disclaimer.
I wanna see John's.
Mine are not
Not
so
safe for
bad
work?
that they can't be shown.
Okay.
Well,
That
then
is
what
not
are
why.
they?
That
Okay.
is not why they're not being shown. But what I do use the fire emoji.
Fire.
Oh, obviously.
all
Don't lie. You
the
use a middle
time.
finger
But this has been a lot of fun. Good luck with getting that iOS update. What a time. Steven, Jobob, Isabel, I'm John. Coming up next, we got Human Events Daily with Jack Posobiec. See you tomorrow.
Why weren't they showing?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard today's edition of Human Events Daily, brought to you by Turning Point USA. Today's top stories: the war in Ukraine enters day 21. We'll give you a full ground update. Next, an incredible piece by Pedro Gonzalez on humanevents.com, the fog of information war in Ukraine. We're going to break down his incredible reporting. Third, Saudi Arabia considers accepting yuan for Chinese oil sales. This is the rise of the petro-yuan and the fall of the petrodollar. And finally, the U.S. consulate in Mexico reportedly sustained gunfire amid explosions after the arrest of a cartel leader. Seems like something that ought to be a little bit of a bigger story. All that's and more ahead, Human Events Daily. All right, so day 21, exactly 3 weeks since the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We're going to give you a full ground update. Earlier today, President Zelensky of Ukraine addressed U.S. Congress and begged them, pleaded with them, requested them to establish a no-fly zone over Ukraine. And here's the problem with that. A no-fly zone is essentially a misnomer. A no-fly zone is actually kind of like saying a mostly peaceful protest when we were talking about the rioting throughout 2020. No, a no-fly zone isn't what it should be called. What it should be called is a shoot-down zone, because there'd be a lot of flying in that no-fly zone of U.S. and NATO aircraft flying over, trying to control those skies, flying combat patrols. So what you would have then is the Russians would be coming in, and obviously they would not abide by the no-fly zone because they are conducting military operations over the same area. What would that lead to? A little something called World War III, active, engaged combat with Russia. That's exactly what that would lead to. That's why throughout the entire Cold War, it's like we forgot all this stuff. We didn't come to blows directly with Russia. We took great pains not to do this, whether it be in Afghanistan, whether it be in Vietnam. These were active hostile conflicts that took place during the Cold War, even Korea to some extent, very early on in the Cold War. But we never once directly attacked Russia. They never directly attacked us because of the reason of nuclear weapons. Well, here's a clip from Jen Psaki yesterday, the White House press secretary, talking about this very situation.
Is the president showing enough strength against Putin? The president has rallied the global community to put in place a greater set of financial sanctions package than has ever been done for any economy in the world. It wouldn't have happened without his action. They did not expect their military to not make as much progress as they have made. The steps we are taking are making it more difficult for President Putin to build and augment his military, to get access to the technology that he needs and wants. It has taken steps to cripple the economy that there's no question, regardless of what Kremlin spokespeople say, it has had a dramatic impact on the economy. And we're doing all of that while providing a historic amount of military assistance to the Ukrainians, helping them effectively fight back.
All right, now let's get into the map. So map break, guys, if you can throw it up next to me there. What we really need to talk about is the encirclement of Kiev is still continuing. The southern door is still open to the south. So you can get out from the south of Kiev, and hopefully that a lot of the civilians are getting out of there, but the encirclement continues on the other three edges of it. Now, what we're also seeing is that Russian columns are moving south from Kharkiv, and they're also moving east and north out of Donetsk, out of the Donbass area, and coming up north from Kherson. What does this mean? What is the play here? Well, it's very simple. They are attempting, as we've said before, to envelop those 50,000 Ukrainian troops that are still on the Donbass line to the far east. If they are enveloped, that essentially means that they will be cut off from the rest of Ukraine and that Russia will control the entire eastern portion of Ukraine. This is key strategic territory. So one city that I really want to focus your attention on is Dnipro. Dnipro is directly in the center of Ukraine. If you look on the map, it's right on the Dnipro River. It's north of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. That was something that was seen as a key staging point and a key takeaway where that firefight broke out just a couple of weeks ago. Why are they doing this? Because the Russians understand that if they can take Dnipro, while they already have total control of Kherson, obviously total control of Crimea in the south, then they can move north. That is the last key strategic city on the Dnipro River. If they are able to take it, then they will effectively cut off Ukraine from the rest of the country, even while fighting continues in Kiev. Right? Kiev is a strategic point for them, but at the end of the day, it's about controlling that territory, that massive bulk, the flank of Ukraine that is to the east of the Dnipro River. They cut that off, they are not going to give it back. And then the fight for Kiev might then become a siege. Of course, that is a strategic political objective for them. But that's why you're already starting to see Russian airstrikes, you're seeing missile strikes on that city of Dnipro, because what they're doing is strategic shaping of the battle space in preparation for a direct attack on that city. Now, we told you before earlier that in the port city of Mariupol, that is where the Russian forces and the separatists have joined up. They carved the city in half, north to south. Now you're seeing an east-west pinch that's coming in. They're coming in from both sides, cutting the city into 4 quadrants. And of those 4 quadrants, they are going through and conducting mop-up operations. They're targeting the Azov battalion. They are going after every single last member of the Ukrainian armed forces and the Azov battalion that they can find in that city of Mariupol, pushing deeper and deeper into the urban terrain.
Because the goal is not to completely subjugate Afghanistan. The goal is to use Afghanistan to wash money out of the tax bases of the United States, out of the tax bases of European countries, through Afghanistan and back into the hands of a transnational security elite. That is the goal.
Those were the words of Julian Assange a decade ago, talking about Afghanistan. Well, that same transnational security elite that he's talking about aren't focused on Afghanistan anymore. They lost that. They lost their payday as their money laundering schemes and operations have winded down in Afghanistan. So what are they trying to do now? Now they're trying to move everything to Ukraine. They want to turn Ukraine into their new money washing operation. Who do you think gets paid every time a shipment of arms goes over to Ukraine? Who do you think gets paid when there's ammo, when there's weapons, these Javelin systems that we're hearing about, anti-air systems, right? If you thought Big Pharma was powerful, wait till you meet the military-industrial complex. War is a racket. So it's just time for some hard truth. There are people, there are elites who stand to make billions of dollars if the United States goes to war in Ukraine. It's not their families that'll go to fight, and it won't be their homes or their territories where the fighting takes place. It'll be far, far away, just like it was in Afghanistan. But what will they receive? They'll receive billions of dollars. They're already making millions off the arms sales, but there are billions of dollars on the table. So when you see the entire uniparty standing in lockstep on anything, like you're seeing with this now, you better start paying attention and you better start holding on to your wallets, because that's what's coming. That's exactly what this is all about. War is a racket. And there's an incredible story by Pedro Gonzalez up, and yes, at humanevents.com. So go to humanevents.com and read this story right now. The fog of information war in Ukraine. Pedro writes, the Western intelligence apparatus has been busy in Ukraine with financing and collaboration through various non-governmental organizations. It won the information war with the help of Ukrainian media before Russia ever fired a shot in February. Even the country's newest publications, like the Kiev Independent, have received support and funding from institutions associated with the Central Intelligence Agency. In most cases, these outlets seem to have propagandized to the beat of the West's war drums rather than inform the public. Since the Independent launched last November, it has amassed nearly 2 million followers on Twitter and became a main artery of information in the war. Far from being objective, its writers tend to snap at those who contradict their narratives. One of their writers, their defense reporter, even declared himself a brother in arms with the Azov Battalion, a unit that has been accused of committing war crimes against civilians in eastern Ukraine. According to journalist Michael Tracy, this same defense reporter amassed almost 1 million followers in just the last 2 weeks. That kind of growth is hard and impressive. But the Independent has some special connections. They're connected to organizations like the National Endowment for Democracy. Well, what did the National Endowment for Democracy say? He said, basically, we do overtly what the CIA used to do covertly. That's one of the statements they made. And what else has been going on over there? Well, there are also reports that came out not too long ago that the United States intelligence agencies, the CIA, and this is out of Yahoo News, right? 2022, January 13th, CIA-trained Ukrainian paramilitaries may take central role if Russia invades. The CIA is overseeing a secret intensive training program in the U.S. for elite Ukrainian special operations forces and other intelligence personnel. The program, which started in 2015, is based at an undisclosed facility in the southern U.S., according to some of these officials. The CIA trained forces could play a critical role on Ukraine's eastern border, where Russian troops have massed. Now, keep in mind this written before the invasion. And the U.S. and Russia started security talks. So what's the point? They're trying to train these forces to act as paramilitary insurgents should a Russian invasion take place, because they knew that the Ukrainian army, right, would be bogged down. They knew that the Russian military far outnumbered the Ukrainian military, so they were training insurgents. Where have I heard this one before? It's like we just said. This is the exact same playbook from Afghanistan in the 1970s, It's a whole movie about it. Go watch Charlie Wilson's War, Tom Hanks. But you won't hear Tom Hanks saying that the same stuff is being done now. And what did the United States do back then? We found another group. We may have disagreed with their beliefs. We may have thought that their actions were a little bit shady, a little bit morally questionable, but that group was called the Mujahideen. And we got in bed with them, and we funded them, and we trained them. Why? Because we wanted to turn Afghanistan into a wasteland, and we did that. And we wanted them to bleed the Russians. Well, that's the exact same thing that these same people are doing with Ukraine today. And they're sidling up to people like the Azov Battalion, right, who we just said have been accused of war crimes against the people of eastern Ukraine. But we're training them the same way that we trained the Mujahideen all those years ago. And look how that turned out. Well, folks, if you like this show, if you want to continue watching us, help enable us to continue to produce this information for you, to synthesize everything that's going on out there, to chunk it down and analyze it and then produce this show, this program, you go and support our sponsors. I mean, thank you so much for the support that you have given them. But I want to also remind you to go to mypillow.com, use promo code POSO. They have been such an incredible sponsor for us. I want to really thank Mike Lindell for all the work he does on behalf of the country, and then also all the support that he's given to us since this program started here on Human Events Daily. So you go, what is that again? mypillow.com, promo code POSO. Look, for me, like, it's not just the fact that the pillows are amazing. When you dial that firmness right in, right? And it's not just the fact that we do have the mattress topper. Tanya and I, every night, we're on the mattress topper, we're on the sheets, but we got the towel set this Christmas. And let me tell you something. They just work. They're towels that actually work, finally, right? It's not just something where you're like, they're not absorbing, they're not actually, no. I'm just get them yourself, try them for yourself. You'll see what I mean. mypillow.com/poso. Get the towel set and you'll say, wait a minute. I never thought the towels could actually work before. I guarantee you these do. All right, we got to get into this next story. So we're talking a lot this week, and you've seen it already. Wall Street Journal had that massive story. Saudi Arabia considering accepting yuan instead of dollars for Chinese oil sales. All right, this is fall of Rome stuff. This is the kind of stuff that you talk about when we're getting into the territory where the world reserve currency is going to be in a period of transition. Don't you like that word lately? We've been hearing it again. It's just a transition, just a transition. We're transitioning from one to the other. We're just going to transition the economy into the Great Reset, right? No, we reject that. We reject the Great Reset. But also understand what's happening. The financial mismanagement of our elites for our country has led to this moment. You might be saying, Poso, why does this matter? Is this even a big thing? Who cares? Saudi Arabia and China, you know, what's the big deal? Why does that matter? Look, here's Jen Psaki. They asked her about it. She didn't even know what they were talking about. Take a listen.
Thank you, Jen. There's reporting that Saudi Arabia is considering accepting the yen instead of the dollar for Chinese oil. Is the White House monitoring that possibility? And has the administration communicated that there would be any types of consequences if that happened?
Let me check with the Treasury Department on it. It's a good question. I hadn't seen the report. I'll check with them.
So we talked about this a little before. Let me clue you in, all right? The US dollar was taken off the gold standard. Everybody understands that back in the 1970s. But the piece that a lot of people miss is that the US dollar is backed by something around the world. It's backed by foreign oil sales. What does that mean? All foreign oil sales are conducted in a US dollar basis. That means when Saudi Arabia goes to sell oil to China, prior to this, they first convert their money, the rial, into US dollars. Then they do the sale, and then they sell the oil, they make their oil shipment to China. So that means there's always a foreign inflated demand for US dollars. There has been for 40, 50 years at this point. It's the Bretton Woods system. And so with bringing Venezuela online, with bringing Iran online, I guarantee you one of the things that the Biden administration is pushing them for right now is to say, continue to make these transactions in the US dollar, even if you're not selling oil to us, because we're probably not going to buy oil directly from Venezuela or buy oil directly from Iran, because that's just politically untenable for the Biden administration, even for the neurotic millennials and West Wing LARPers that populate this White House. But understand, that's only predicated on US influence in the world. We lose that, all of a sudden, the value of the money in your bank account goes up and up, or excuse me, the inflation goes up and up and up. The value goes down, 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 down. Right? Think of TVs, right? We can afford cheap foreign imports because the value of the dollar is strong. That diminishes, all of that goes away. And the price of a TV is going to be like the price of a refrigerator. Your costs are going to go up. And like it or not, that is the future, the financial future of this country that you're hurtling towards, your children are hurtling towards, and your children's children are hurtling towards. So all of the debt that we take on is going to be incurred by them. Understand it, get you and your family and your financial future and your financial fortunes secured while you still can.
No voy a poder pasar por aquí. el pueblo.
One group is not happy because they got their leader. The other two are saying, is there a vacuum in here? Maybe we need to come in. So there might be fights over Plaza because of what happened, capturing that high-ranking individual.
The videos that you just saw, that wasn't Ukraine. That wasn't Russia. It wasn't Yemen or Syria. That was Nuevo Laredo, just across the U.S. border with Mexico. Because here's something that you don't hear about, because our media doesn't talk about it. Northern Mexico and many of the provinces there are engaged in an all-out war with the drug cartels. It's the Mexican government, the federales, versus the drug cartels, and they've been engaged in this war for almost 15 years at this point. Actual open warfare. We're also getting reports that the U.S. consulate itself in that town came under gunfire this week. A U.S. consulate. Right? Why did this happen? Well, because this leader of the Cartel del Norte, named El Huevo, has been captured by Mexican officials. And it may have been, the details on this are still kind of murky, but it may have been a joint U.S. and Mexican government raid that took him down directly. But because his cartel forces are out there, they are responding. You might remember that way down in southern Mexico, I think it was about a year ago, something like this happened, and it was the son of a cartel leader, I believe. His forces came back, almost laid waste to the town, and then actually got the cartel leader freed from custody. All of this is happening just south of the United States. This isn't thousands and thousands of miles away. This is right here. This is our backyard. This is our own hemisphere. So while we're having these conversations about spheres of influence and territorial integrity and sovereignty and all of these questions, you got to remember, you are being led down a primrose path by the mainstream media. They're telling you to care so much about something that happens thousands of miles away. And I do care about it, and you should care about it. But understand that there is a system of priorities, and there is a hierarchy to this stuff. And what do I mean by that? And it may sound callous and it may sound cold and you may attack me for that. But here's my question. Here's my point, right? This stuff, as a country, affects us directly. The victims of this, you think these cartels don't operate north of the border? Like, go watch maybe one episode of Breaking Bad, right? Go watch Sicario, go watch Narco, any of that stuff. That stuff is more real than most Americans want to admit. Some of our biggest TV shows. Yet for some reason, the US government and the media don't want to talk about it, don't want to do anything about it, don't want to get involved. You don't hear these stories playing out every single night. You know, which provinces under a control of which cartels, which leaders are taking over, which members of the families are working together. Why is that? Why is it that they want you so invested in something that has nothing to do with actual U.S. safety and security, but could have everything to do with their own elite interests? All right, that is all the time we have here today. Human Events Daily. What did we talk about today? We gave you that ground update. What is going on in the city of Mariupol? What is going on the ground? The importance of the Dnieper River. Next, we talked about the information war. Go to humanevents.com. Read Pedro Gonzalez's incredible original reporting on this. Only available humanevents.com. Next, we got into the rise of the petro yuan and the fall of the petrodollar, what it means for you and your family. And then finally, we talked about the drug cartel war that is going on just across the U.S. border, a story that for some reason the mainstream media just doesn't want to talk about. Remember, our promise, our oath, our solemn vow to all of you: be good, be brief, be gone. This has been Human Events Daily. Remember your homework from us. Share this out with one of your normie friends and leave us your 5-star review. And I just want to thank you very much again, because we got the numbers in from last week. They were incredibly high. We want to really appreciate all of your support and everything that you do. Before we leave, it's time for today's history break. This day, 1968, the My Lai massacre in Vietnam. Understand that war is a racket and the people are always the victims. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, you have my permission.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the March Madness Selection Show special here for the Breakaway Podcast. We got a very special guest, not just Brian Farnsworth, Mr. Charlie Kirk.
I demanded to be on the show today, by the way. I demanded it.
There was no choice in the matter
That's right.
at all. He said, March Madness, I'm doing it again.
And last year I did so well. Liberty lost in the first round.
Made some big time picks last year.
That's right, yeah. Didn't end well, so.
I know you were bringing this up, but Erica, she knew what she was doing. She
did
had
her
like
homework.
pages of research.
I think I got Gonzaga right in the national title game, though. That wasn't that hard to get, though.
Yeah. It's easy, but we're going to break down all our picks. It's going to be consensus. We're going to try to come together, and majority's going to rule here. All right?
All right.
If that's all right
Let's
with
do
you?
it.
All right.
Let's dive into
the board.
So we're going to start with this. I think we're going to start with the South. Arizona.
Versus a Wright State play-in. I mean, I think Arizona. Is that the guy that used to coach at Xavier still there?
No. So
the recruiting scandal guy?
Recruiting scandal guy, Sean Miller, he's gone. This is the first year of Arizona. They brought in Gonzaga's former assistant head coach.
Oh, Mark
He's
Few's
built-
assistant? Okay.
Oh, yeah. So it's basically like Gonzaga South, essentially. And they are a very, very good team.
Okay.
They brought in a lot of international players. They kind of play like a mixture of European basketball and like 05 Suns. They play fast, pass the ball. They're a fun team.
So they're good enough to get to the titles and lose. So, yeah. Okay.
So we'll see there. And then obviously we're going Arizona. There's only been one 16-seeded team to win.
UMBC. Against Villanova.
Or it was against Virginia.
Oh, that's right.
Virginia, they smacked them too. It was tied 21-21 at halftime. It's the 4-year anniversary, I think, tomorrow of that
But then
win.
Virginia won the national title the next year, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I remember.
That's why I think with some of these teams, like there's going to be revenge on this board. So obviously
Absolutely.
we're going Arizona and then Seton Hall, TCU.
And the 8 and 9s are always the best to look at, right?
It's a toss-up. Absolutely.
I know nothing about either team, so I'll be very honest. I know the Horned Frogs against. Yeah, I mean, why not? I say TCU unless there's some data that I don't know.
No, I'm going TCU with you,
All right,
Charlie.
Okay.
Well, because they've had a lot of big upsets too. Like they beat Kansas. And they had a big comeback in the conference tournament as well. So throw the Horned Frogs
There you go.
in there.
Houston beat Gonzaga this year, didn't they?
Houston did they beat Gonzaga?
They beat somebody big.
They I can't remember who they beat big, but the biggest problem with Houston right now, so they were cooking earlier. 2 of their best guards are injured right now heading into
I think they beat Gonzaga, I'm pretty sure.
So it's a tough one.
They beat somebody, you can look it up. I think UAB. I like the 5-12s.
Charlie's going Blazers on this one.
Yep. University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Watch out for Jelly Walker. This guy is going to be
He plays for UAB?
UAB.
Okay.
This guy's like 5'0". And
He's basically my height.
Yeah, they went to triple OT in their conference tournament, and this guy put up 40 points. This guy was putting up buckets. So if for some
Are we
reason,
good with UAB?
Oh, we're good with UAB.
All right, okay.
UAB, I think that's
the 5-12s always are the most fun.
Oh, 100%.
They're great.
Now, with the number 4, number 13, Illinois, Chattanooga, both of them, Chattanooga's going to put up a fight. However, Illinois has big man Kofi Coburn.
Is he still playing?
Oh, yeah, and he is killing it this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely just a monster. So I think Illinois.
I can't go against Illinois. It's my hometown.
Oh.
Best team to never win the national title was the 05 Illini. Remember them? 05-06?
fun.
D. Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They had Darren Williams. Remember that team? They
of
played
course.
against North Carolina.
Yeah, no, it was a great year.
Yeah, they should have won it all.
Now we got Colorado State and Michigan. So
Is
I
Jawan,
think-
is he still suspended?
No, so he got suspended throughout the rest of the regular season.
Yeah.
But Michigan is good, but I just don't think they're good enough to get past Colorado State because their big man is one of the best players in the country.
Well, so Charlie, you're going to love this guy when you watch this one. His name's David Roddy. He's a 6'5", 250-pound point guard.
Big man.
Who can shoot lights out.
At Colorado State?
Yeah, he looks like a tight end out there, but he's their point guard. It's hilarious. But Colorado State's one of my dark horse picks if they could go kind of far because of David Roddy. So watch out for him. You're going to love him.
So we're going to go right here, Colorado
I'll let
State.
you guys. I'm always a Big Ten bias guy, just so you know. But I'll trust your judgment on that. All right, so
Colorado State.
So we're going Colorado State.
Colorado State.
There in that.
But I got to say, I know where almost every college in the country is. Where is Longwood?
Beats me. I have no idea.
Do we have a
what
chapter
Longwood
at Longwood? Somebody? No? Well, we should.
That's one of those things where it's like, who cares where Longwood
Does anyone
is?
know where Longwood is? Can you look it up? Where is Longwood?
Because Longwood's done in...
It's in Virginia? There we go.
Longwood's done in 40 minutes, all right? So no one cares about Longwood.
No. Is Perlman still the coach there?
I have no idea.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
No. Are you talking Bruce Pearl?
Yeah.
I don't think he's with Longwood.
No, with Tennessee.
Oh, with Tennessee. Okay, that's what. Yeah, no, Bruce Pearl's still the coach.
He wears
in
those
Tennessee.
ridiculous jackets and all that. He'll choke. But all right.
So I think Tennessee, before we get into the rest of these. This is my pick to make a major run because I think they got disrespected.
Okay.
Big time. They're winners of 12 of 13 to end the season.
Wow.
They were only losing for 69 seconds total in the SEC tournament. So these guys,
Did they win the
there's
SEC
no
tournament?
reason they should be.
They lost it.
And they ended up losing the tournament.
Got it.
Ended up losing the tournament, but I think there's no doubt that they should have been a 2 seed.
Okay.
No doubt. So I think they're a little pissed off. Ohio State.
Is Sister Mary still there?
Sister Jean.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Yeah, is she still there?
She's still kicking.
Wow. You can't go against Loyola Chicago, man. They've made runs the last couple years.
They're a good program.
We were bringing this up before the show. We're like, when we get to the point where we talk about Loyola Chicago, Charlie's in. Like, don't talk to me about.
No, you can't. You got to go Loyola.
That is the fun one, but Ohio State got beat by Oral Roberts last year. And it was fun to see them.
They were like a 2 seed, weren't they? Or they like a 3 seed or something?
Yeah, they're very high.
Yeah, they were a high seed.
I like Loyola. They're a good program.
Might as well.
They're going to come to play.
Well, and that's I feel like in March Madness, it really just attitude is one of the biggest things that people
That's right.
discount.
And momentum. Villanova, I think, is going to win.
Also, Loyola is
Jay Wright.
one of those. They have a 30-year-old coach. It's the youngest coach
Really?
in college basketball. So I think it's one of those. They can come out firing. They're pretty good at defense. And they're one of those where they're always disciplined.
Okay.
So when it comes down to the end of the game, they're pretty good at the end of games too. So Villanova, Delaware. Villanova, boom. Delaware, thanks for the memories.
Can't bet against Jay Wright.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Let's move on over here to the West region. So
Gonzaga will win, obviously.
Gonzaga,
Easy.
That was tough last year when they were going to be the first team to go undefeated and win a championship since I think 75-76 Indiana, and they just couldn't get it done.
Baylor had something
Lost
to say about
Baylor.
that.
Yeah, I know. I think Gonzaga's going to make another run, but we'll get there.
Yeah. So Boise State and Memphis. Boise
These are
State,
toss-ups. These are so hard.
They're always toss-ups. I like Boise State a lot because I think they're small. Their smallest guy in their rotation, I think, is 6'5". They're big.
Big. I see. My problem is though, I love Penny Hardaway. He's the coach at Memphis, and I don't like going against Penny. So I think we're split on this one. John's Boise State. I'm Memphis. Charlie is the.
I like
decision.
Boise State.
Oh,
Is their
kills me.
court blue? Is their court blue?
The court's not blue. That would be off the charts if their football field and their court was blue.
UConn, New Mexico State. Wow.
Upset.
Yeah, I think that's
Upset.
right. You got to go heavy on the 12-5s.
Yeah.
Those are always seeded intentionally.
So this one, I was looking at this.
I'll let you guys
At least
figure out.
one 12 seed has defeated a number 5 seed in 31 of 36 tournaments. Last year, Oregon State was the only 12 to win, knocking off Tennessee, though.
Well, and so we've already picked one 12 seed to go. So
Yeah.
you guys are doubling down, and
That's
you're going
right.
New Mexico
The
State.
12-5s, man, I'm telling you, they're
I
great.
feel a lot better about New Mexico State than I do UAB.
Hey, UAB's going to light it up.
I mean,
I love it.
I wouldn't mind. That's what the tough part
But
about
the-
this
but
is.
these
Like, who
guys-
do you root for? But what are you going to put on your bracket?
You always root for the underdog. Always root for the underdog.
It's the American
I don't know. I
story.
think Vermont's going to win too, but I'm crazy like that.
Oh,
So,
I'm going to go against Bernie Sanders' home state.
I'm
and pick
telling you, but they're
Arkansas.
they're going to come to play. These guys, like, it's their whole life to play. They're gonna put it all out there, man.
all they
Arkansas,
got
though,
going.
Eric Musselman's team looks nice.
But the
And
thing about
they
the
play
tournament is the games are so weird because you play for 5 minutes and you have like 10 minutes off. Like, because these long TV timeouts.
Oh, yeah.
So even if you're not that good of a team, you have a time to breathe, right? Like to kind of get that adrenaline down.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a different type of pace.
Is Charlie using his executive veto here?
No. You guys, Arkansas is probably gonna win, but keep your eye on Vermont, everybody. I'm telling you.
All right,
Vermont.
We're gonna go Arkansas. Then we're gonna keep our eye on Vermont.
We got to pick the play-in too.
And then we got Rutgers and Notre
The play-in,
Dame.
don't sleep on the play-in. UCLA won the play-in last year and went all the way to the Final Four.
Yep.
And lost on a last-second shot to Gonzaga.
I know we're gonna get to it, but the play-in game that I feel like people should watch out for the most is Indiana.
Okay.
Indiana could
Yeah.
be that team this year. We're gonna get to that though. So we got Rutgers and Notre Dame. Who's gonna win that game?
Rutgers is
toss-up.
big. I like him this year. They played big. They crashed the boards.
Rutgers and then Alabama. I mean, you just got to go.
I always pick the win. I always pick the guy that won the play-in to win the next game.
Well, and see, I like that because the thing to know about Alabama this year is they just chuck up 1 million threes a game. And so they're a really streaky team. When they're hitting their threes, they can beat anybody. But they'll go cold for a while, which is why I don't love them, because in the tournament, people play defense.
Right.
They go hard.
That's right.
So,
all right, Rutgers.
Let's go Rutgers then.
Rutgers on to the round of 32.
This is going to be the worst when Notre Dame wins.
No, your whole bracket gets destroyed.
Like idiots. So, all right, Texas Tech, Montana State.
From Bozeman, Montana. Okay.
Texas Tech is the
Oh, is that
best
weirdo
defense.
still play for Texas Tech? That YouTube star?
No, he
you know
plays.
what I'm talking about?
No, he plays for the G League team for what's the
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Lakers G League team.
Yeah. He's all attitude, no skill. What's his name again?
Oh my!
Was it Mooney?
White boy that could dunk. Like,
pretty sure his last name was Mooney. I could be wrong on this one.
No, I'm going blank. I can see
You know
his.
who I'm talking
I can
about.
see his face. We're gonna need to do a little research on.
Is Bobby Knight's son still there? Or his son was somewhere, wasn't he?
I don't think he's there.
No. I think Texas Tech. They're
Texas
good. They're a
Tech
good
is
team.
gonna be-
They're a good team.
Is going to be the matchup. And then we got Michigan State, Davidson.
So we say Texas Tech over Montana State?
Yeah, Texas Tech,
All right.
for sure.
And then so we got the 7-10 matchup between the Sparties and Steph Curry's old squad.
North Carolina. I love Tom Izzo. He's still coaching?
He is still
So I love
coaching.
him more. So he's a great tournament coach. He's great. They play physical all year. I like Michigan State.
Well, and they just did fairly well. They didn't win, but they did fairly well in their conference tournament. So they're kind of riding a little bit of a high.
But the Big Ten's a tough conference.
The thing with Davidson though is you got to watch out with a lot of these games. Like they're close, and they have the best free throw shooter in the country. Shoots at 93% clip.
Wow.
So
it'll be a dogfight no matter what.
If it comes down to
Michigan State wins dogfights, though. They're a physical team. They always have been.
They look good. Also, a little side note: did you see what Izzo had to say after the Juwan Howard situation? They're like, "Well, should we get rid of the post-game line handshakes?"
No, I didn't hear what he said.
He was basically just saying, like, just because you have one stupid incident doesn't mean we should get rid of it. And maybe this is a good chance to like talk to kids about how to grow up, how to mature.
There you go.
Maybe it should come from a good coach, not Juwan Howard.
I like Tom Izzo.
They're coming out punching. Duke.
Duke's going to win.
Cal State University Fullerton.
I would love to see Coach K lose the play-in game.
Oh,
to CSU Fullerton.
Just this first round?
Just end his career in like just savage.
In misery.
Dude, I love Coach K, but watching
Take him or
the
leave him.
Tar
I'm a
Heels,
UNC guy.
watching the
Krzyzewski.
Tar Heels absolutely
That was
destroy
awesome.
them.
On his last time at Cameron Indoor.
I love it. He just comes up to the mic too, and he's like, "All right, no, we got something planned." That sucked. That was horrible. All right, back to it. It was great. He took that before the program even started for his goodbye. But we're going to scroll down to, let's go down back to right here. So we're going to go to the Midwest, Kansas. So we talked about before, TCU took them out.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Rock Chalk.
I feel like you just got to go Kansas. Because
I think so.
I know we were talking about before the show, if a team loses a game that they should not lose, a game or two before you get in the tournament, I think there's a little bit like, all right, we got beat before we got into our conference tournament. Let's figure it out a little bit.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Boom. All right.
100%.
San Diego State, Creighton.
Creighton's not a bad team. They lost, I think, that was Drake. They lost in the championship against Loyola. San Diego State, they're streaky, though. I think they could play. So.
No, and something to know about San Diego State, second best defense in the tournament this year to where
I like
they're
defense
going to
to win,
lock people
so I
up.
like them.
Yeah, let's go San Diego State.
Iowa.
We got Iowa.
Now,
and
they
Richmond.
lost in the Big Ten title to Purdue, is that right?
Yes. However, Iowa, this is my dark horse who I could see winning the whole thing. So they have a guy who is just lights out. His name's Keegan Murray. His twin plays for the team, too.
Didn't
He's
he
not
hit
as
the
good.
game winner?
Yes. Yeah. He is incredible. He's a forward, 6'8". He's hitting at like 38% from the three. One of the top scorers in the country. He might be the most talented scorer in the
All right,
tournament.
I like Iowa.
I love Iowa.
I like Big Ten teams. Huge bias.
The Richmond Spiders.
Providence is a 4 seed?
Back to the Richmond Spiders, though. That is the best mascot.
The
I love
Spider?
the Spiders.
The Spiders.
I like the Friars, though, better. But as for mascot.
South Dakota State and Friars.
How are is Providence really a 4 seed? They were that good this year?
Yeah.
I think they're a little overrated, though.
All right, let's go South Dakota State.
You'll love this. South Dakota State as a team shoots 44% from the three.
That's ridiculous.
It's insane.
You could go really hot. Let's do South Dakota State.
Love
Sorry,
it.
Providence, you're overrated.
That's my 13
There you go.
that I
See?
think's going far.
Boom.
All right, and then we're going down to LSU, who's got an interim head coach in Iowa State.
Yep. Cyclones?
Cyclones.
You got the
all day.
Cyclones.
LSU fired their head coach like 5
11.
days ago.
Because of allegations,
that could
right?
sometimes have the opposite effect, though. It could rally the team sometimes.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen, but Iowa State, I like the 11 seed. Wisconsin, Colgate.
Hold up. Colgate, best three-point shooting team
No way.
in the country. These guys can slow the game down, and these guys can spread.
How do you slow the game down by shooting threes? Just the exact opposite.
They have a good defense, though, too. They're able to slow it down.
Well, then they're like the best team in the country as a 14
These guys,
seed.
I think this is the biggest upset of the first round.
All right,
Colgate.
I'm a Big Ten guy, but I'll let if you want to go all in, John. I will text you when Wisconsin wins by 20.
And I'll cash out and I'll take it.
All right, we're going Colgate.
I hate that pick. Wisconsin's been doubted all year, and they've done nothing but
for good reason.
Love Wisconsin.
That's going to be spicy.
That's a
USC,
terrible one.
Miami. We have to go against USC.
100%.
USC never gets picked by anybody reasonable or decent. So Miami for anything.
You were bringing up USC, horrible from the free throw line.
Terrible. So and you got to hit your free throws. Miami.
Terrible. Miami
Auburn,
looks good.
for sure.
Auburn. Yep. Boom.
Auburn. not even a
Jacksonville
question.
State. Thanks for the memories. All right, we're going to move over here
Baylor.
to
Let's
the
not
east
even
side of the board.
Let's not even focus on that.
Yeah. Last year's national champion.
Are they really
Baylor.
a 1 seed again? That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, they're just always good. They're steady.
It's amazing.
Baylor's always
best team
steady.
in- best
North
team in
Carolina, we don't even need to talk about it. Tar Heels getting the dub.
No, it's gonna be a tough battle. Marquette's good, but I'm going North Carolina. They're hot right now.
North Carolina can win. Yeah, I like that. St. Mary's. That's the Australian team, isn't it?
So, I mean, kind of used to be. So
See, all my college basketball knowledge is like 10 years old. I used to be really into it.
No, but Randy.
They used to be like a Australian team.
Like basically everybody you're going to see on St. Mary's. Like they still got a few Aussies, but they got into a little recruiting violations with Randy Bennett there.
I like IU to win the play-in and then beat St. Mary's.
That I don't think it's a bad call because if Indiana finds a way to win that game,
I just want to see Indiana be good at basketball. They've tried
rounds.
everything they possibly
It's
can.
been so long.
Tom Crean, remember
Yeah.
Tom Crean?
Oh, the best.
Yeah, he was a Marquette coach. All right, I like Indiana.
I hate St. Mary's. I was telling John earlier, they play at the slowest pace of anybody in the
Forget it. Boring.
in the tournament.
Yeah, and then they were able to beat Gonzaga at their place. Obviously, they played
Can't
better at
stand
their
them.
place than neutral sites. For me, I'm going to be going St. Mary's, but this is what we're putting on the big
UCLA,
board.
Akron. I mean, UCLA could get hot. They did last year. They have Johnny Jarvis, right, or whatever the guy's name is.
Juzang.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. They brought back almost their entire team, so that's why they even performed better this year than they did last year, to where expect them to go far.
Yeah.
All right, UCLA over
UCLA,
Akron.
boom, Bruins, baby.
Texas,
All right.
Virginia Tech. Texas is not bad.
Virginia Tech just won the ACC tournament.
Oh, did they really?
They smacked.
Oh, then for sure.
They smacked UNC
Yep.
and then absolutely killed Duke.
But this was like
They
a
are-
shocking thing that they did, though, right?
Oh yeah, it came out of nowhere.
And they've just had some big wins this year. And
I like hot teams coming in.
I'm with you.
Virginia Tech then.
Virginia Tech.
All right, Yale, Purdue. I think Purdue's a great basketball team, but I always pick the Ivy League.
You do. You went hard on them last year.
I went hard on the Ivies. But it's Yale, so Purdue's going to win. I mean,
So,
give me a break.
Pur-
do
yeah.
they have a player over 6'7" on their roster?
Purdue?
No,
Yale.
Oh, dude.
I don't
They just
know.
have all high IQs. So,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
it.
But
their IQ is higher than their stature.
Purdue.
That is for
Purdue's
sure.
going to beat
Purdue.
Yale.
Purdue was my pick early in the
I love
season
good upsets.
to
That's
win,
not
the
gonna
national championship. But you'll watch out for Purdue. Their offense is the best in the country, but their defense sucks.
Well, we'll
It's like
highlight
really bad.
You can knock it, but the tournament's weird though. I'm telling you, people play much harder. It's the end of the tunnel.
Well, and I always feel like, so Purdue's got this kid, Jaden Ivey. He'll probably be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft. I always feel like the guys who are about to go in the NBA draft, they always underperform in the tournament for whatever reason. I feel like often they don't come out swinging. Maybe because they're scared to hurt
Murray
themselves.
State and USF, San Francisco.
I'm going Murray State.
Murray
They have
State
good guard play.
years ago made that run. Do you remember that? Like 7-8 years ago.
They
Yeah,
made a
'cause that
pretty
was-
decent run like 3 years ago too.
Yeah, I like Murray
John
State.
Morant.
I like Murray State.
I'm with Charlie. I like Murray.
And then for San Francisco there, I mean, I think it's a little bit more of a toss-up. I will go Murray State. San Francisco was one of those teams, though. I think it was in the 50s. They went undefeated and
won the
won a
national title.
championship.
Yep.
A little bit different in the 50s than it is now.
Kentucky's
I'll
going
tell
to
you
beat
that
St.
for sure.
Peter's. That's fine.
Yeah, Kentucky,
easy.
St. Peter's. Appreciate y'all later. All right, let's move back up.
All right,
start.
now we got to deal with the hand that we dealt. All right,
man,
Arizona,
here.
TCU. Yeah, I mean, Arizona, I think, is a really good team. So Arizona's going to advance.
Phenomenal. Arizona.
Arizona,
They're going to go to
boom.
the Sweet 16.
UAB.
Illinois in the Sweet 16 versus Arizona.
Love it.
Here we go. So yeah, we're gonna go Illinois, and then Colorado State, Tennessee. I like Tennessee. Tennessee is my team to make a big run.
All right.
Here, because I think Colorado State.
I'm riding David Roddy, but you guys can go Tennessee.
How much do we believe in the Ramblers is a real question. So we go Tennessee next.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
All right, Loyola Chicago.
We got to go. Loyola Chicago to the Sweet 16, okay?
Loyola, I'm 100% with Charlie
All the
on this
way
one.
on. All right. Do
How
not
many people
question.
are roasting us in the comments right
Do
now?
do not question the Loyola University of Chicago unit. All right.
This is when you put a bracket
here's
together
the thing.
with your heart.
You charge for what you want. You choose what you want. Okay, this is what I want, and
Put it out into the
we'll get to
universe.
that with Duke, where I predict beautifully.
And then let's go over here back to the West.
Gonzaga's going to beat Boise State. Yeah.
Easy.
Yep, Gonzaga, and then Arkansas, New Mexico State.
Arkansas?
Yeah, it's Arkansas.
All right, Arkansas, fine. All right, Rutgers, Notre Dame, or Texas Tech?
Once again.
Wait, you got to remember, Rutgers was picked here. So Rutgers, are they going to keep going over Texas Tech?
Well, because look, even if Alabama wins that one, they're not going to beat Texas Tech. So I feel like it's an easy
All right,
choice
Texas
for
Tech to the
Texas
Sweet
Tech.
16.
Yeah. Doesn't matter who Texas Tech would be playing that second round.
Yeah, it's easiest choice.
Are we picking that far ahead?
No,
Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech. Yeah.
Texas Tech.
Yeah, okay. And then Michigan State's going to beat Duke.
Duke has a lot of talent on this year, but they continuously
Retire Coach K
they
is a loss to
underperform.
Tom Izzo. I think it'll be epic.
Tom Izzo is 3-12 against Coach K.
I did not know that.
Perfect time to end his career. Go Sparty, everybody.
Let's go. All right, Michigan State. I mean, that would be.
You know what I love about these? Some of them are going to become right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, here we go.
All right, let's scroll down. Yeah, let's go back here to the Midwest, I think. Yeah, Midwest, we got
Kansas, San Diego. I think Kansas is going to win.
Yeah, they're too good.
I think that's going to be closer than we think, though.
Especially
with San Diego State's
those long
defense.
weekend games are tough, but I like Iowa. I like Iowa against South Dakota State.
South Dakota State, their run ends there.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
And then
the Shockers always do well in the tournament. If Colgate does win, upsets Wisconsin, I don't think they can beat the Shockers.
You mean the Cyclones?
Cyclones,
the
my
Cyclones,
bad.
because the Shockers are Wichita State.
Wichita,
All right,
yeah.
Iowa State to the Sweet 16. Then Auburn.
Yeah.
Yep, for
Keep
sure.
rolling, Auburn.
Yeah.
That's a weak little area. Wisconsin could easily make a run through that. They got lucky. All right, Baylor's gonna win. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go Baylor too. My heart says UNC.
No.
I would love for them to win, but yeah.
I think UCLA is gonna make another run to the Sweet 16.
Agree.
Yeah.
UCLA looks good.
Purdue to the Sweet 16.
I'm riding Jaden Ivey as well.
And then Murray State. Okay.
Don't be surprised if Virginia Tech wins that game, though.
All right.
Everybody watching. Kentucky, we with that?
Sure.
Kentucky, boom.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not that
If we didn't pick
unusual.
Kentucky, Jeff
All right, start back up.
would have lost his mind.
All right. Arizona, Illinois. Illinois to the Elite Eight, everybody, right?
Illinois over Arizona? You just want anarchy right now.
I'm a Big Ten guy.
He's going his home state all the way.
What do you
here.
got? You think Arizona's going to make the Elite Eight?
Well, you go your home state, I'll go my home state, and I'm going Arizona.
I'm a little, but can't you tell I got Loyola and Illinois in the Sweet 16? So you do whatever you need to do.
I'm going Arizona.
All right, fine.
Arizona's going to get that done.
Loyola to the Elite Eight.
I'm about
no. Tennessee, it's fine. That's not going to happen.
Tennessee.
At some point, we got to get back to team
The
reality.
Bulls are really good.
Yeah. Gonzaga is going to get to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, might as well.
easy.
Let's stay up here. Let's go Gonzaga over Arkansas.
For sure. Texas Tech, for sure.
Texas Tech.
You think they can make a run?
Yeah, their defense is really, really good, and they can hit their threes.
Okay.
All right. Let's scroll on down. Let's go back to
Kansas, Iowa.
Yeah, let's start in the Midwest here.
Iowa. That's going to be my Midwest poll. Yes, Iowa.
I love Iowa to win this one.
Let's do it.
Kansas.
No, guard Remy Martin is too streaky of a player for Kansas.
Is Auburn? All right, so let me just make a prediction here. If they were going to be like a high-level seed, it will come out of here. I'm telling you. There's some weakness here. It's not good.
I feel like it's just upset central.
I'm telling. That's not like that. If there's going to be upsets, it's all going to happen. It's
This
going
is
to be
the upset capital of the world. Is the Midwest, ladies and gentlemen, right here.
Well, and I agree with Charlie because while Auburn's a 2 seed, they have a lot of talent.
They're overrated.
They're slumping right now.
Yeah, they're overrated. All right. Well, with that being said, let's make Auburn go to the Elite Eight.
Yep.
Auburn.
they are a very talented
You got no
team.
choice because it's just such a weak thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Baylor, UCLA.
I think UCLA is they got so much attitude, man. They're gonna be tough to beat. I'm telling you.
Yep.
In the structure of the game, it favors their flow of game. It did. They used to get down by 12 points last year, and they would just kind of come back and come. It's UCLA.
The thing with Baylor though is like they did lose, I think, 4 starters from last year, but they've been able to recoup, and they're still a #1 seed. They did win last year, so it's going to be
UCLA.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah,
so,
UCLA's bringing back 4 starters from last year. So
they're a 4 seed for a reason. All right, let's go UCLA.
I'm with you. I'm with Charlie. UCLA.
Purdue, Kentucky.
Let's go Big Ten, everybody. Purdue. Thanks for shopping.
Purdue. I like it.
All right, back up.
All right, back.
All right, Arizona, Tennessee. Who do you like?
Boom, boom.
I love Arizona.
All right, Arizona.
Love them.
All right.
That though is.
Did ASU even make the dance?
Tennessee is my dark horse to win the tournament though.
Gonzaga. They've gone out of 2 out of the last 4 national titles. Mark Few's awesome. They got that guy with the handlebar mustache. Gonzaga.
Timmy.
Yep.
Timmy.
Yep.
I like him a lot.
All right, and then let's go back down then. So this is what we got. So far we got
Iowa in the Final
Auburn.
4. Let's ring it up.
Love it.
I'm not kidding. And then Purdue.
Purdue.
I've liked Purdue all year. All right. Arizona, Iowa.
I think Iowa's luck runs out. Keegan Murray's a really good player, but
Final
Arizona's
4 is
better
everything
team.
slows down. The better team usually wins. Arizona. And then Gonzaga.
So I think like
that's
this,
a pretty fair national title, though.
That's what most people are saying.
Is that
a
right?
lot of people, the way they have their brackets right now, there's couple 2 seeds, couple 1 seeds. That's
Okay.
what most brackets are seeing right now. But Gonzaga, Arizona. Arizona has not won the national title since '97.
And Gonzaga's never won it. They've lost twice
Never,
in the last,
ever won.
in the last 4 years.
Is this going to be their year to win it?
I'm a big Gonzaga fan. I picked them last year. I love everything about Mark Few. They don't have the resources that Arizona has. They're like in the middle of nowhere.
And they don't have Turning Point USA.
I want Gonzaga to win. So what do we think?
So, like I said earlier, Lloyd, Arizona's new head coach, he is former assistant from Gonzaga. This is a master
there for like 2
versus
decades.
apprentice.
That would be such a great matchup.
It's going to be so fun. I am going to continue with my hometown bias, home state bias. I'm going Arizona, so this comes down to you, Gonzaga versus Arizona.
Because Arizona right now is the betting favorite to
No,
win.
Gonzaga is.
Or Gonzaga is. And then Arizona's 2?
2 or 3. It's right
I
up
think
there.
you're 2 right there. Gonzaga, they have not found a way to win the big game.
They will.
You saw them last year, but that's where I feel
I
like
hope it comes down to
there's
Gonzaga,
times where it's
Arizona.
just like you got a guy that's going to the plate and he's just over. It's like, come on, it's his time. Come on, he's due. Gonzaga is not going to get it
All
done.
right.
Also, Arizona had a scare in the Pac-12 tournament. Stanford had an unbelievable tournament. They were garbage, and then they only beat Stanford, I think, by like 4 or 5 points.
So you're going to call Arizona?
Arizona is going to win.
All right. I got plenty of weird picks in, so I'm good.
Yeah.
All right.
We gave you the weird picks. What's the final score going to be, Charlie?
If Arizona were to win, it'd be like 75-70.
Ooh, I like
High scoring.
that. Higher scoring.
Yeah.
Higher scoring.
They're both incredible offenses.
75-70.
Boom. New Orleans is going to get an absolute shootout. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the March Madness Selection Sunday.
We probably got most of it
Selection
wrong,
show
but
bracket.
it was great.
This has been crazy. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, make sure you do that. We're on Apple, Spotify, we're on YouTube and Rumble. Don't forget to watch TPUSA Live every single day if you want some more of me, Drew Hernandez, a lot of great contributors. Also follow us on Instagram at TPUSA Breakaway.
Loyola.
Charlie's out, we're out. Thanks for the memories.
Butterfly in the sky, The IRS be like, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and jail. Don't be wrong.
Boom. He's in jail.
Lizzo says it's child abuse not to let kids transition. I have thoughts on 2 new family movies, Turning Red and The Adam Project. The Biden administration is paying TikTokers to blame Putin for high gas prices instead of himself. I'll explain why President Biden is actually the one responsible. I'm Alex Clark, and this is Politics. Lizzo spoke at South by Southwest and said not allowing young children to transition genders is child abuse.
They are taking away the right for young children to have a chance to live authentically as themselves. And it's a violation of human rights. Trans rights are human rights.
That's right. Yeah, okay, Liz, let's take advice from you on what children should or shouldn't be doing with their bodies. It makes about as much sense as having you as a health coach. It's not that I have an issue with celebrities having opinions, but just because Lizzo is cool with ruining her own body with junk food doesn't mean that we have to agree on how she uses her platform to advocate for kids to ruin their own bodies with testosterone or puberty blockers before they can truly understand the physical consequences.
Don't put Twinkies on your pizza.
If you ever meet someone who's in the middle politically, just say, today's left believes in free crack pipes and children transitioning, but they don't believe in children being maskless or that grown adults should be able to take a drug like ivermectin if they want. There are 2 kid or family movies everyone is talking about. The Adam Project on Netflix is one of them. Roll that clip.
You know what you have to do. Stop time travel from ever being invented. Boom.
What's your plan?
Well, I'm not going to explain my plan to a 12-year-old nerd with an
You don't
inhaler because I do not have a plan, but I know somebody who does.
I'm the godfather of time travel?
The Adam Project. If we don't pull this off, we're not getting back. What do you say, kid?
Punch that shit.
Oh, yeah. I spent 30 years trying to get away from the me that was you. And I'll tell you what. You were the best part all along.
And the other movie everyone's talking about is Pixar's Turning Red.
I'm Maylin Lee. I wear what I want, say what I want, 24/7, 365. I know, it's a lot. But I don't got time to mess around. All about that hustle, am I right? Poor town. This is gonna be the best year ever. And nothing's gonna get in my way. All right.
May, breakfast is ready.
Coming.
It's gonna be me.
Is everything okay?
I'm a gross red monster. Don't look at me. Stay back.
This happened already?
What did you say?
Our ancestors had a mystical connection with red pandas.
Are you kidding me?
This little quirk runs in our family.
Parents are freaking out about Turning Red because it definitely focuses on more preteen issues than elementary. There's a lot of body talk and even period talk. Sneaking out and rebelling against parents, saying that you shouldn't honor your parents too much because sometimes you need to honor yourself. And there's a line where the main character says, "My panda, my choice." I haven't watched Turning Red because I just know based on the reviews and the trailer I'm not gonna like it, but I did watch The Adam Project with Ryan Reynolds, Jennifer Garner, Mark Ruffalo, and Zoe Saldana, and without a doubt, it is one of the best movies in the last couple of years, I think. So good for the whole family. There is violence and a few swear words and saying the Lord's name in vain, which gives it a PG-13 rating, but I loved it, and I wish it would have been a movie to see in theaters.
Write that down.
Okay, so as we saw with Lizzo, as long as you are on the left, you can comment on anything and no one questions the fact that you're literally only an expert in being a celebrity. Well, the same goes for TikTokers, because the White House recently briefed some influencers on how to talk about gas prices. The message? Well, of course, they want them to say it's all Russia's fault. And if you do say that, they'll give you a lot of money.
That is a lie. I mean, where's a follow-up question? This is disinformation.
Yes, the same TikTok dancers who do this and only this are now foreign policy and economy experts allowed to speak on what's going on with gas prices. Remember when Joe Rogan was nationally shamed for talking about the juice because he's not a doctor, and everyone thought it was dangerous misinformation for him to have a literal conversation about a topic just because he didn't work in that field?
Why is gas so expensive, and why is the United States inflation rate at a 4-time decade high? I had the opportunity to ask the White House why gas down the street is $7, and here's what they said. The obvious reason: we are getting out of a 2-year pandemic. When use goes up, price goes up. But the call was predominantly about Ukraine and Russia, so how does that relate? Russia is one of the top 3 producers of oil, and it is actually their #1 revenue source. Now, with Putin starting this horrific fight between Ukraine and Russia, nobody wants to work with him and do an international trade. So with people being scared of war and limited resources, prices are bound to go up as well. For the people who can't pay $7 for a gallon of gas, there's an app called Gas Buddy that shows you the cheapest gas near you, as well as a link in my bio to donate to the misplaced refugees of Ukraine.
Here's the thing. These TikTokers, like so many celebrities, aren't having a conversation. They're just vomiting up a narrative. I didn't hear them talking about the rising prices last year, way before the Ukraine issue. The US was energy independent with President Trump, but of course, everyone was too busy hating him because of lies to know the truth. Well, like I said, the lie is continuing.
Can't do much right now. Russia's responsible.
I know you'd rather be at the ice cream shop, but you're in charge of this country, Joe Schmo, Joe Bee Boo Ba 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 Boo Ba.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
You've got to take personal responsibility. The Biden admin knew what they were doing when they shut down the Keystone Pipeline the second President Biden took office. They don't put America first, ever. So why would they want us to be energy independent? Why would they actually want to use our own resources to help Americans and even Europeans who are dependent on Putin? It goes against their whole green bean energy plan.
I'm green. It'll do fine. It's beautiful. And I think it's what I want to be.
If you missed one of the first big announcements this week, the spillover has a brand new look. Don't worry, it's the same interview podcast that you know and love, but we needed to give it its own, grown-up big sister identity. The first episode of season 2 drops tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, with another podcast host that you all know and love, talking about something that she's never talked about on her own podcast yet. So I'm very excited about that. Like this in every Politics episode so that we show up in your feed. Share your thoughts on Turning Red or The Atom Project if you've seen either of those movies in the comments, and DM this episode to one friend who isn't sure if we should blame Putin or President Biden for gas prices, and then tap the save button so you can reference this later. We're back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It's pop culture without the propaganda every single day. I'm Alex Clark, and this is Politics. Support Politics, the first ever conservative pop culture daily show, by subscribing to our channel, turning on notifications, and of course, hitting the thumbs up. Also, our main home is on Instagram. Seriously, just trust me, that's where the real magic happens. Follow us there at Politics.